Hello, everybody. What's going on? It's TCH Live on Monday, and that means we're going to play some 5-10 No Limit Texas Holdem. Welcome to the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. Taking a look here in the chat. Let's see who's hanging out with us. We got Raina, we got Ragnar, we got Dante, Captain Underpairs, Poker Monkey, Jim K. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the show. We got Frank in the mix as well. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on the chat, see who all's hanging out with us. But first, let's take a look around the table, see who's playing here tonight. We got John. We got Slicer.
I see a captain.
I do see a captain as well. I know we've got
Jay Wynn.
Repping his new pokercoaching.com swag because he's
I wasn't sure who that was at first, and then I read the patch and said, oh, it must be Jay Wynn.
Yeah.
On is in the mix. Everyone loves On.
And JL here as well, joining us here in the 6th seat.
This must be JL's first time, I assume, maybe?
I think that's right.
Okay, and then Magician. Wait, Magician is, Captain is Magician.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Zach coming into the mix as well.
I was going to say, Zach named himself. At first I thought it was Zach, and I was like, that seems really
that would be
weird.
Zach working with a pair of queens and nut spades on the bottom there. Does have the top pair on top as well, but not much else to go with it. Checking through on the turn, everybody gets a free river. And let's see who's going to get each board here. We've got a set of sevens for John.
Magician's got top 2. No, he's got a straight. Straight to the jack.
Oh,
on the
yes,
bottom.
indeed.
Zach is folding the winner on top.
And a pair of 9s is going to win. Or sorry, a pair of 7s is going to win on top. Is
I
that
guess,
real?
yeah.
4s and 7s, and yeah, indeed, Zach does let go of those single pair, aces and 4s.
Yeah, I don't think I'm continuing with that either. It seems like a pretty reasonable fold. Hello, everyone in the chat.
Yeah, forgot to mention that, of course, Miss Carolyn is joining me here this evening. So I'm your host, Aaron McAvoy, and yeah, back in town from Vegas. I see Ragnar here asking if I had fun out there. Definitely did have fun. Had a ton of fun. It was a magnificent time, as always, when you go out to Vegas to play cards and do all of the other things that happen in Vegas that stay there. But had a great time.
Won't mention them.
Yeah, exactly. No need to. How about you, Carolyn? Did you have a good time out there? I know you
I had
were there
a
for
blast.
while.
I was here last week, so this stream, I think, is aware of the shenanigans. But I had a great time. I think that was probably the most fun I've had in Vegas. Not the most profitable trip.
Yeah, they don't always go hand
in hand. It also wasn't
like
the biggest loss, so I'm not mad.
Perfect. Good fun and not losing everything is always a good time.
Can't say the same for my husband. He did lose the maximum, which was his way of putting it, exactly. So
3 players to a flop here. On going to flop bottom 2. Top pair, second kicker for Zach. Magician here with a couple of overcards as well. So a little something for everybody to continue with. I think after the bet and call, though, here from Zach, I suspect that Magician may just dip out, and he does. So heads up to a turn here.
Jim K. No, not Caitlin. Carolyn. Different person.
9 of spades on the turn brings a one-liner to the straight. Checky, checky. On still ahead, and now they're both playing the board. Let's see if Zach attacks this. He does have the king in his hand, and On quickly checks this over. I'd like to see Zach go for a big bet here, and he's going to go for a middling size that's going to make it look like, yeah, I've got a queen, just call. But generally speaking, when the board is a straight, if you're really going to try to get your opponent off of a chop, you want to give him the real business. The 420, of course, is the appropriate number if you're going to bet anything less than pot. But On looks to be a non-believer. Doesn't want to fold his straight on board, as I wouldn't either. And then he's going to show it. Let's see. The hand is turned over. On, though, still in the tank, trying to figure this one out.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what 2 cards he has.
425? 420.
Magician kicking himself for folding his ace queen.
Absolutely.
This one.
He's gonna let him turn one over. He's gonna show him the jack. That no chance. No, you have to call now. He just gave you a chance to see. Yeah, you gotta call then. You gotta call. I don't know. I always feel like when someone is willing to show you,
Oh, it's 100% always a bluff.
it's always a
It's
bluff.
always a bluff. They never have it.
Yeah, because if
They always have 2 cards. Both of them are going to make you want to fold.
Yeah,
But
both-
neither of them, but when you combine them together, they have nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Oh, amazing. All right. Very good stuff. All right, well, we've got our first chop pot of the evening in its very first hand. So there you go. We got that out of the way. Let's take a look here in the chat, see what else is going on with all y'all. Did anybody else make it out to Vegas yet to play the WSOP event? Let us know here in the chat.
Yeah, tell us all about your Vegas shenanigans.
Words are hard.
5, 10, 25.
All right.
I
We
tried
got
to. You know,
5, 10,
yeah, this
25.
actually is a Canadian. They don't even count.
Straddles are on.
All right, the $25 straddle is on.
John on the button, gonna open with King 7 suited, makes it 100.
I like this open from John. You can really open all of your suited kings when folded to on the button.
No, can't.
Magician here playing this one a little bit loose though. Ace 3 off out of the small blind. You're going to whiff a lot of the time. This isn't one of those times, but just going to have to fold. And sometimes if you do make top pair, you're kind of up a creek. But
Right.
this, of course, is one of those times where you're just loving life and your opponent is betting. So check, bet, call here.
I know. You hit
No
my head,
improvement
that's
here
right.
for John on the turn.
Because of
This
John,
should just go
I call.
check, check now. John has no real reason to continue blasting. Queen on the end, so once again, no improvement for John, and no additional chips should go in the middle
Are you doing
as
okay? I haven't seen you
Magician
for a
will
while.
show the magical ace of clubs and ship the pot. Poker Monkey going out there here at the end of June. Very good. I also saw that Reno is going out there at some point
Oxygen
as
did you
well.
have?
15 days till Vegas for Reno. Very good. And Ragnar not going to make it out there. Same with Keith. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely an expensive endeavor, you know, especially if you're not like a hardcore tournament veteran, you
Right.
know, like to
Right.
go out there and think of just like firing bullet after bullet, you know, because there's so many people in these events that it oftentimes takes more than one bullet to put chips in a bag or make any sort of a deep run. It's just sort of the nature of the beast. But anyways, back to the 5-10 game here. Slicer going to raise it up.
Canadians, money, what's
And
that?
John just going to call hijack versus cutoff. I think that's a pretty good spot to isolate with the nines. Get the blinds out of the way. Not let them in for cheap, but
4 on the flop.
and on here is going to come in from the straddle and flop top pair. So now he's going to lead out, and Slicer's got to love this.
Yeah, John's still sitting on an overpair too, so.
Yeah, but this is a curious spot because on donk leading and Slicer raising is
John re-raising. Oh.
you don't see this formation very often. Donk lead, raise, and re-raise. I think On can get away from this because of the dynamic. Like this is, Slicer is completely uncapped as he's the pre-flop opener. And John just calling is actually going to have some like sets of fours,
Yeah,
sets of twos
absolutely.
type stuff. So I think On, yeah, he's going to be able to get away from this. He does. Back over to Slicer, who of course is never folding in a million years and could even think about going for a fourth bet. The problem is that he's out of position to John. So if he does just call and the turn, I mean, whatever the turn is,
Yeah.
like, it may just go check, check like so frequently.
Nope.
And that's why he is going to go for the fourth bet. And I like this. I think It feels weird. It feels like you're just going to get your opponent to fold like everything that you want to call you, but it's not the case, as
Yeah,
John
John's
will continue.
Just gonna flat call here. We're seeing one of the 9s is dead, so
Yeah, the 9 of hearts, the only 9 left in the deck. It would put the front door heart flush out there. But with 5K in the middle and 5K behind for John, I suspect Slicer just going to ship it in here. A smaller sizing really doesn't accomplish anything, and if you ever did have, like, let's say you had ace 5 of hearts, right? And you were just going to try to bluff your opponent out, like, you have to go all in now. And so he does do so. John now going to have to tank this one out with the slight overpair to the board. John just loses to almost everything, right?
yeah.
Which is kind of a problem for him. Like, there's no value hands that he beats, but does make the call. John is going to make his stand with the 9s here, and going to need to find that last lonely 9 of hearts in the deck if he's going to get bailed out of this one. Not sure if we're running it. Oh my God!
Oh, there it is.
Run it one time and just bink City? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I do apologize for all of your eardrums, but that was
Sorry.
a 1-outer from space that landed right there on the river. Slicer taking a massive cooler hit for an additional 5K after already putting in like 3K or so
Yeah.
on the pre-flop action. My goodness. Well, that is a highlight reel hand right there if you've ever seen one. Run it one time, Max Payne, and Max Payne goes to Slicer, who had a 98% chance of coming away with a 14K pot.
He had 1 card and 1 card only. And there it is.
Holy Jesus. That's enough to make your knees weak right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've suffered some 1-outer beats on the river before, and so I kind of know what it feels like, but
Yeah, of
never
course.
playing, you know, a 14K pot, you know?
Well, and when it happens, it's like, oh, I flopped a set of 7s and my opponent has aces.
Player checks live stream.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's no reason for them to fold. You know, it's a jack-high board, and they're like, no, I got aces. I'm good. They're calling, and then bink the ace on the river. Like,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing that you can, and that happened to me when I was out in Vegas. I flopped a set of 7s. My opponent had jacks. We got it all in on the turn, and then bink jack on the river.
Jack
you
right
know,
there
it's
on
one
the
of those things that it was a either 9 or 10 high board, so he really didn't see a reason to get out of there.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
for
when you
John,
beat
with
value.
9s there, it feels like maybe. I'm sure Slicer's saying, "Man, why are you calling me with 9s?"
Yeah, I mean, do it 98 times and he loves it, you know, and that's those last 2 times out of 100 that that last card peels off. Yeah, and Jim K here in the chat saying this is what makes poker so difficult. You play your hand correctly and still lose. I mean, it's what makes poker difficult, and it's what makes poker so exciting, right? Because it adds that extra element to the game where it's not just like chess, where, like, if I'm the better player, I'm going to beat you almost every time. Because, like, I can just see things on the board in a way that is going to be much more advantageous to me, right?
Right.
As soon as you add the luck factor of, like, oh, my God, you can hit 1 card and get bailed out, like, you know, that just adds that extra level of excitement. It's why this game is so exciting. It's why we love it. And it's definitely what keeps us all coming back on some level or another, the fact that there isn't just like pure certainty every hand about what's going to happen. All right, these 3 players getting mixed up here. I see a couple of queens out there
Yeah,
for
Zach's
the
got a
queen
queen.
tray of hearts. Nice
JL, who opened, is going to go ahead and c-bet this flop.
I like the c-bet here on these paired boards like this with a couple of backdoor and overcards to the 6. you still have plenty of opportunities to improve to a better hand than what your opponents might call you with. If they call with something like 4s and 5s or whatever, you can still hit a pair. As we can see, JL is way, way, way behind. Going to need to get some sort of running.
6 of diamonds. Oh, yeah, it looks like the burn card red on the board. So the turn is actually the 6 of diamonds. So Zach's now sitting on queens full of 6s, and JL is drawing. Yeah, that king of clubs looks like, oh, you picked up the backdoor club drop now. No, he didn't.
Yeah, JL here recognizing that pretty much anything that Zach could continue with is better than him, except for like pocket 5s, pocket 4s at this point, right? But even if those are the hands that Zach starts bluffing with, it's going to be impossible for JL to continue. So
Yeah.
this should just be a check and a fold after Zach bets 225 here on the turn. And there you have it. Zach going to take this one down. Bad card for him on the turn. I mean, of course, he wins the pot, but he would have loved it if his opponent had picked up something like an 8, a 9,
That king of
or a
clubs
club.
actually would have been the burn card would have been a very nice card for Zach to get some more value from that hand. But
Absolutely right.
but no coolers, so you know
Put these
there's
cell
that.
phones away, Captain America.
Ragnar disagrees. He says variance is definitely not what keeps me coming back to poker. That's funny. And we got German Moneymaker here in the chat. Who's organizing the lineup for this stream? That would be Padawan producer Kristen. If you would like to play on the 4th of July in Austin, if we are indeed running a game that night, you'll want to reach out to Padawan producer Kristen. I believe you can also just find a link in the YouTube description below the video to go ahead and sign up. Anybody can do that, of course. Let us know who you are, where you're from, when you want to be in town to play, and we will do our best to get you in the lineup. So, hope to see you on the stream.
Oh, we haven't gambled yet. What are we doing with our lives?
We're watching and commentating on the poker rings, and
Yeah, I
we're
mean,
going to gamble.
I
when we
get
to
that,
it.
but it's not what I'm here for.
Oh, no?
No.
Okay. Well, let me pull up my YouTubes on my telly. On here, flops 2 pair, bets and wins.
Keep the points.
All right. Since I trounced you so hard at the PLO flips the other day, you want to go first?
Oh, I guess so.
Dude, I have like 10 extra points, yo. Flexing over here.
Man. How'd you get so many points?
I found them under a rock.
How is Aaron not a mod? I don't know. I could make him a mod.
Yeah, I've wanted this like my whole life, and no one ever
This
let
is
me.
this is what you've wanted your whole life?
Yeah.
That's-
And your $20, please.
All right.
Let's go.
How did I agree to go first? I knew that was a bad idea.
Oh, well, you should have said the other thing. I mean, it still hasn't shown to you that.
Oh, no,
this
no,
has
I
happened,
see
but-
it here on my
Oh, okay,
phone. It
all
just
right.
isn't showing up on this side.
Yeah, I guess we froze.
Nah.
My promotion to moderator just completely froze
It broke
the
it.
chat. All right.
Oh,
three-
I think it's because he's on there.
3 ways to a flop here. Queen high board. Both Magician and a J-Win here working with the ace highs. John has the gut shot to the 6 card straight. So I'm going to check through here. And J-Win picks up a pair on the turn. Does improve him to the best hand at the moment.
That's right. You can live forever.
Magician going to take this opportunity to bet. After John checks the flop, this is a spot where Magician can definitely start betting his all of his hands,
Yeah,
his bluffs and his value,
absolutely.
because he would have had a natural check to the pre-flop raiser. So I like this just fine. And he's going to go ahead and get this one through. Although, I'm a little bit curious. I missed the pre-flop action to see how we all got in here, but I guess this was,
It's too late now.
yeah, we'll never know.
Yeah, not sure. Oh. John raised to 100. Just call.
Okay, all right. So then most of his value would have already bet on the turn. But to continue with a 5 is pretty tough as Jay win anyway, so
like next year, I
makes
feel
sense.
like anyone could win. Like there's still a lot of teams that's, no matter who wins, you're not going to feel
Right.
like they're going to win next year. Like,
Are you going back out to Vegas before the end of the series?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I think we have. I have maxed out on my child care.
Quota.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
So
Used it all up.
yeah, that was trip number 4 the last time I was out there this year. So
Some good Vegas value you're getting this year.
yeah, for sure.
All right, 3-bet pot developing here. JL opens with the AK. Zach giving him the business on the button. This is hijack versus button, so Jack 8 of diamonds, and when JL goes for the 4th bet, yeah, it's all over. But the singing. Jack 8 of diamonds, nice little hand to go for a 3-bet. You're going to play in position. You're going to have plenty of playability post-flop. And if you do get re-raised, you just let it go. And
Yeah.
you don't have a hand like Ace Queen where you sit there scratching your head like, do I really want to continue? I don't know. I think I have to. And then you can end up in a really massive pot. And pit.
I would never survive. I respect the biggest survivor.
I do want to give a quick shout out here to TCH Houston. Going to be running a big 250K guaranteed tournament down at TCH in Spring, Texas, just north of Houston. It's a mystery bounty tournament with a $600 buy-in. It's also part of the WPT Steps tournament series, and we are guaranteeing 250K in the prize pool, 50K for first place. There'll be a sweet WPT Steps package involved for the lucky winner to go and play in a WPT main event. And should just be all around great fun and great value. So if you are in or around the Houston area this coming weekend.
It looks like John just folded his pocket 9s. I don't know how you let that go after you just got the massive double up with them last time.
No, he's got cards still, actually. So
John?
I think we had a slight
Okay.
mischaracterization in the action tracking. And if he does indeed have 9s, he's made another set of them. And do apologize for the missed action here as we are showing Slicer in the hand. And however, Slicer is the one that folded. John is, of course, in the hand.
Yes, I think we're going to get this straightened out. Yeah,
Yeah,
hand 9. Okay, it's going to get corrected. So
Yeah, we do see
we've
John.
gotten word that it will get corrected. In the meantime, Poker Monkey wondering, where did you stay while you were out there?
I stayed at the Palazzo, which is
Oh, the
the Venetian, yeah.
I stayed at the Venetian last year for WSOP.
Yeah.
At the Venetian itself.
The Palazzo Venetian.
The Venetian, and it was very nice, but not cheap if you don't have it comp. So.
Which thankfully I did, yeah. Had
Yeah.
three comp nights, so that was lovely.
Yeah, we chose to stay at Planet Hollywood this time around because it was so close, but we could have stayed at Bally's because we had comp rooms at any Caesars property.
Okay. I liked Planet Hollywood.
Except for, like, Paris wasn't included.
Sure.
But either Bally's or Planet Hollywood. But Bally's, if you don't get an upgraded room, Bally's is a dump.
I mean, that's why they give away so many rooms.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
Planet Hollywood, their basic rooms are decent. Like, I definitely would not complain about it. So I was
Yep.
very pleased with the choice of staying there. And it was still like a 3-minute walk. So, like, once you got out of the casino, it's right there.
Right there. Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, we are back up and running. We don't have the flop red in just yet, but we'll get that here momentarily. As we can see on the board, the 10 of hearts, the 9 of clubs, the 4 of hearts. So we are just getting that red in. Of course, John does indeed have the middle
9.
set.
Well, he's got 9s full of 4s now, I think. 4 of clubs, I think, is the turn card.
Okay, we'll see. No, I think it was just misclick. But Magician, in any case, has at least top pair. Yeah, it's 7 of clubs on the turn. Still working with the top pair. Does now pick up a gutter as John will go for the lead here on the turn. Once again, we are missing some of the action there from the flop, but in any case, we can now see that this was a bet of 700 on the turn, a call from Magician, and now a 5 of clubs completing the backdoor club flush draw. Does put that flush draw out there, does not complete the front door, nor does it change the straights that would have already been there. Magician announces call. John turns over the set of 9s, and now there are 2 players at the table that will have a little bit of PTSD involving sets of 9s from the 2 seed.
Yeah.
I'm playing all of my red 9s.
So John going to ship another nice pot here. 9s are the hand to have if you're John G. So well played by him, and getting some pretty serious value out of these pocket pairs. Chip it up to 17,000 plus, so good things happening here.
I'm living. Black guys that moving down.
For Mr. John. Let's go ahead and take a look at the net earnings here. Wow, we're moving on to the next hand here.
Yeah, John's sitting squarely on top of that leaderboard right there. 7.27K. Next in line is up $500. So big gap between. Oh, nope, we just changed that. Just got updated. So now 9.8. And next in line is up a measly quarter.
Hey, you know, 25 bucks, that'll get you a sandwich these days. So, you know,
John just taking
let's not knock it, okay?
everybody's money today.
We are on hand number 10, so 1 full orbit. John is smashing, but
Yeah.
it's not over yet. Slicer here going to open it up with the king-queen offsuit. We can see that JL has the same hand in the straddle position. Let's see if he goes for a squeeze here after Magician and a J-Win call from the small blind and big blind, respectively.
Nope. Kind of just complete and go 4 ways to this spot.
I think king-queen is perfectly fine to mix into a 3-bet squeeze or just a flat. You know, if you have more like an ace-5 or something offsuit where you just really benefit a lot from getting everybody to fold, you know, a better spot perhaps to go for the squeeze. The king-queen off going to play perfectly fine post-flop, and as we can see, makes the toppest of pairs here and can easily go for a check call against Slicer's C-bet. These 2 players will be chopping the pot if we get to showdown. I suspect we will, but this 10 of spades on the turn does change the texture a little bit. Lots of 2 pairs now out there. But Slicer not going to slow things down, does still want to build the pot for value. Going to bet half pot here.
He's got that celebrity status.
Neither player with a spade in hand. So JL here, I think, should just be happy to check call once again. And he does. So still a heads up to the river.
Yep.
1-liner to a straight out here, kind of tough for either player to have a 7. Both players can, of course, still have some 7s.
One pair.
But,
Check, check.
There we go.
Gonna chop it up.
So what did you think of the new venue for WSOP this year?
Well, so last year was the first year I've ever been there.
Wait, last year. So you got the last taste of Rio
Yes.
before it was gone. Okay.
Yes. But it was also, I was there for the first day. And that was my first experience of the Rio was a complete shit show. Because it was mid-COVID, we had vaccine requirements and all these, and
stand in
none
that
of
line,
the
then go stand in that
staff,
line.
none
Did
of
you
the
bring your
staff
vaccine
had
card?
any idea what was going on, and they were kind of misdirected by each other, and then they were misdirecting people, so it was kind of just a disaster.
Yeah.
But so it seemed very chaotic, long lines. And it's kind of funny because it seemed so much more. I was in Bally's though, so I guess I don't really have the full experience because I only fired 1 bullet at the housewarming event, and I was in Bally's. I went to Paris for just like, oh yeah, we got a hand.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off there. We'll come back to this in a moment as we do have a 3-bet pot. Jwin going to go for the 3rd bet. Couple of kings here. Cowboys been very favorable for Jwin here on the TCH Live streets. Zach, who was the original raiser, going to make the call, and that does bring Magician along as well, who had flatted in between the initial raise. Ace-high board here, not what any player was really looking forward to. Jwin checks first to act here, and going to check all the way through. That'll make Jwin feel a little bit better, as well as the queen pairing on the turn. So kind of tough to get value here, as like most hands are just going to fold if you are ahead of them with the kings. So
I mean, Zach's going to go ahead and put some chips in this pot.
well, he has a much more, I think, rational hand to go for a bet.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit of protection, right? Like king 10, king jack, 10 jack, these sorts of hands have a lot of equity against him. And if he can bet and get those to fold now, he doesn't have to fade some scary looking rivers. So Jwin here going to play this one as a check call. I like this a lot. And I imagine most rivers is just going to go checky, and Jwin will show down the winner. Yeah, 10 of clubs here, not a card that anybody's really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Zach here could attack hands like kings and jacks, though, with a big bet. Let's see if he goes for it.
All right.
And he does. All right, Zach here recognizing that Jwin is going to have these sorts of hands, kings, jacks, etc., that didn't really feel like betting. And this is a massive bet here, 3K from Zach. My goodness. I mean, this is putting the ace-5s of the world into a pretty big spot as well. So Zach recognizing that this is a time to pounce and really going for it. Jwin, though, facing this big overbet, has to wonder, does Zach have the goods? This is sort of repping pocket deuces and a queen, maybe even a king jack, but Jwin blocking the king jacks really hard. So at this point, it's sort of like a queen. And what queens does he have? Maybe queen jack? Would queen jack bet the flop? No. Would bet the turn, so all that makes sense. Queen jack going to be pretty reasonable holdings here. Queen jack suited can definitely do some 3-betting pre-flop as well. Or sorry, it was just an open and a call of the 3-bet. So
yeah,
that all makes sense. Yeah, this actually looks a lot like a queen jack, maybe even a queen 10 suited.
Yep. A lot of things that Jwin is losing to here that, you know, make pretty decent sense.
Really in the tank here, though. Jwin not a believer just yet. You'd see a lot of players just ditch these kings facing a bet that size.
Oh, particularly because, you know, he's fighting for a pot that he's only put, you know, less than $700 into. Does he want to call off 3K? He shows the bluff.
There it is. Zach has some pretty fantastic table awareness. One of the things that I appreciate about him in his game is recognizing spots like this and attacking them. And it makes him a very challenging opponent to go up against because, you know, just sort of out of the blue, he'll hit you with this gigantic bet, you know,
yeah,
this sort of 2x over bet on the river. And you're like, what the hell is that, you know? And you don't know if he's got value or a bluff. And there we can see it was...
and Ragnar stating the obvious. Terrible board for King, yes. Yeah. We can all agree that that is the fact.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the tricky thing to ask yourself, of course, is what other hands in Jwin's range play it that way? Because you always want to be thinking about your range, right? Like, what is my range? What's the top of my range in particular? And if I'm folding the top of my range, then what else can I possibly call with?
Right.
And so, you know, the tricky thing there to go through then is to ask yourself, when you 3-bet pre and then check into your 2 opponents on ace queen 5 or whatever it was board, what checks there and then goes for a check call on the turn and gets to a river and checks again, right? And maybe you've got some ace-5 type hands, right?
Yeah.
It was ace-queen, whatever it was, right? It wasn't a 5, but
Ace queen deuce. Ace queen queen.
Ace queen deuce. That's
Yeah,
right.
ace queen deuce on the flop.
So yeah, like ace five suited, something
sure,
like that,
yeah.
you definitely can have in there. So if
I mean,
you're gonna call with your
it's
ace
a
five,
single raise pot and a call, so there's a lot of
it was
possible.
3-bet. He Jaywin did the 3-bet from the small blind.
Did he?
Yeah, it was an open from Zach with the 7.
Okay.
Call from captain in between. 3-bet from the small blind call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Ragnar asking if seat 6 has plaques in front of him. Yes, he does.
Got some new players here at the table.
Yeah, we got 2 new players joining us. So.
Yeah, we got Jazz, and I imagine that is her boyfriend. It is indeed.
Ah, yes. Andrew and Jazz.
Yeah. All right. So Andrew in the mix. Very fun player
Yes.
to watch here on the stream. Jazz, to anybody who's not familiar, she tends to wait for
Aces.
big hands
Aces?
like aces.
Mostly just aces exclusively, and just rips it.
Go all in. Yeah.
Yep.
So we won't see a ton of action from her unless she wakes up with aces a lot. But we are.
Or unless she has been playing the long game and making, only playing aces for forever, and now she's going to pull some big bluffs.
I hope that's true. I hope that you're right.
So on limping first, and then JL raising to 145 with ace king suited, and then on going ahead and putting the back raise in with ace deuce off, saying, I don't
Pump
believe
fake.
you.
Pump fake there from On, about to ship it all in the middle. But yeah, JL here once again, the ace king of spades. Had that against Zach earlier. Putting it to work
Indeed.
in a 4-bet pot once again. Not getting a quick fold here from On, though, which is,
Oh, On's going to call.
my
Wow.
goodness,
Okay.
that is an interesting play. Stacked pot ratio of
Give me like 7-4 deuce or something on the flop.
2 spades.
Yes.
2 spades.
Yeah.
Yeah, stacked pot ratio is well
No.
under 1. And this is a pretty gross board here for JL, but I think given the fact that the stacked pot ratio is less than 1, yeah, he's just going to put his opponent in.
Wow. Maybe we misread. Maybe this is...
Maybe.
No, I think On has ace deuce and is drawing to 2 outs.
Ace on the turn pairs
Doesn't
both
really
players.
change anything. No.
Ace deuce is
Shows
indeed
it.
what On has.
Ace deuce off, and he just said, I don't know. I guess if you have a pocket pair, I can still win.
Backdoor trips draw. You know?
Yeah. He had on the flop, he's got backdoor bottom pair draw,
Player checks.
which would have been good.
Never change On. We love you, man. Goes for it there. Does make top pair, but it's inferior to the kicker of JL. So JL here is going to go ahead and pick up a nice little pot there. Battle of the aces, top versus bottom. Let's see. When did we last gamble? It probably hasn't
I
been
don't
half
think
an
it's
hour,
been that
but
Oh, plaques are worth 1,000. Yes. We got red chips, those are 5, green are 25, black chips are 100. Those nice magenta colored chips, those are 500, and then the plaques are 1,000.
oh man, having a little blue wrench next to my name.
Are you having like a power trip right now? Yes. God, what did we do? What have we done, guys?
Just checking my points.
Oh,
that's
now
all.
you can do the top points and top hours. You could do that for the viewers.
For the chat.
Yeah.
The chat peeps. All right, moving right along as we've got Slicer going to raise this up from early position. On, who has rebought for $1,430, somewhere thereabouts, is in the mix. 554 on the flop, checks through. Slicer here going to pick up top pair on the turn. Definitely a spot where you can bet. Also possible to sort of check and let somebody take a stab on the river with your 10 kicker. Some of your sort of like weaker kickers you can just sort of put into a check line, but yeah, I like the bet. Just takes it down
Yeah.
right now. No need for someone who has just like a bogus deuce or a 3 to just somehow river
A straight,
a
yeah.
straight against you for free.
All right. Moving right along. We're going to have another hand. No straddle, it looks like. Yes, Jazz is in the under the gun, so I would be surprised if she chose to straddle.
Or even play the hand.
Yeah. Also, she's not at the table on top of it, so there's like a lot of reasons why she didn't straddle there.
Yeah.
But you know, it's fine.
JL here. Beautiful hand on the button when folded to. He's going to go ahead and open this up to 75 and gets 2 quick calls from both On and Zach out of the blind. 3 ways to a flop.
All right, interesting. We got 3 flush draws. Everybody has, oh no, diamonds are not out there. Nope, they are out there. Everyone has one of their suit on that board. And Zach, with the worst starting hand, is the only one with the pair. So
7 is still best here as well. Zach will go ahead and bet now after being checked to JL, not interested in continuing as he did not pick up any additional equity. But On, going to try to find a king or
Yeah.
what he thinks would be good 10 on the river, but he does not find either. Jim K here playing with the micro steaks like the meat. How's
what kind
that
of
going
steak?
for you?
We got a ribeye, sirloin.
But very tiny ones, like the little ones that come on that tiny
Little
little
ones.
plate at a French restaurant. You have to like cut it with the micro size knife and fork. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just joshing around, but I love that. Glad that you're enjoying these streams, man. Happy to have you.
On checks to Zach, who bets 180 on the river, and On calls with king high.
Sometimes a guy with a mustache like that is just trying to punk you.
Yeah, he just looks like he's probably full of shit.
Yeah. I mean, how does he have anything on that board?
Yeah. I mean, no one with a mustache has anything on that board.
He shouldn't. Shouldn't
No.
be allowed.
He shouldn't be allowed to have that
Yeah,
mustache.
that
You're
should-
right.
That should be outlawed.
Count it as 25, but if you're from
Just kidding, Zach. You keep being you.
still
I usually skip on that or boss
Steak tapas.
I know, you guys are making me happy.
gangsta ball pop.
I
I
watched.
just
I know
ate
you
some
just.
delicious Cabo Bobs, and now I'm sated, so that's good.
No, I did not. Who's? I know. I walked in here. It smelled delicious, and I was like, man, now I'm hungry.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Who's the lady? Playing? Talking? Be more specific.
How about we just tell you both, because that's how we roll around here.
Sure. My name's Carolyn.
And the gal in the 9th seat is Jasmine. So there you go. You got answers to the question in 2 different ways. All right, we've got raised to 150 here from John. Beautiful hand. Jack 10 suited. Magician's in there, and that's the only taker, so heads up we go.
Yeah. All right. Well, Magician flopping open-ended. John's got middle pair. Nobody has a club, so see what happens with that. Ace of spades. I'm going to slow down.
And Magician happy to just take the river for free, see if he can make a straight. He does not. And John checks once again. Now going to be pretty tough to rep much here.
Big. Well, I guess 740.
Oh, 600. Quick fold, though, from John. Does just have 3rd pair, and I guess a king could just sort of check back on the ace. But
Yeah, I would be snap calling that, but that's me. And
Yeah, I
I
mean,
am just known to make bad sticky calls.
well, you also have some experience with Captain, your Magician.
I just don't see why. I mean, I don't see anything that would bet that river that,
That big.
yeah, that I'm losing to. I mean, that hasn't bet yet.
Yeah.
Especially captain, who will, who's not opposed to like donk leading and things like that when he's got a hand that he wants to extract value from.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But John here just sort of done with the third pair.
Yeah, and that's perfectly reasonable as well. And I think that play from captain or magician is going to be profitable a lot of the time.
Jay Wynn putting those 9s to work, doesn't get a set or even any pre-flop callers.
Yeah, he's
so.
probably a little disappointed about the amount he's won with the 9s compared to how everyone else has fared with them.
Mostly just John. John's won like 10K.
Yeah.
And Jay Wynn just won 40.
Bummer.
But there's time. There's time.
I
We're
mean,
on hand 17.
the knight
Those
is
9s,
very young.
They're coming back.
Here's some VPIP numbers. Magician's VPIP is at 53. That seems high to me. I mean, we're only 16 hands in, so who knows?
That sounds right. No,
Yeah, I guess that's about right.
He's been making a lot of calls, right? Like there was
That's
the open from Zach. He calls 8-7 suited. Gets 3-bet from Jay Wynn. He calls again.
Yeah, he hasn't necessarily been the aggressor. So we'll take a look at that number. We can do it now, probably.
Yeah.
Let's see. Show me aggression frequency. Slicer at the top. And Magician, 27%. So of the hands that he's in, he is the aggressor 27% of the time, is how I am interpreting that number. And that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so. All right, Zach here raising in the cutoff, gets called in the blind and straddle, so 3 waves to a flop.
Ragnar pointing out that Jess has a 0% VPIP. She's literally been here for 3 hands, and one of them she wasn't even sitting at the table yet. So let's not make it like a thing yet. Now, an hour from now, if that's still the case.
Which it might be. We'll
It
see.
could be, yeah. It's entirely possible. But, yeah, we're going to just see what happens.
We'll let the data speak for itself,
Yeah.
Zach there flopping the nut flush draw, bets and gets folds. Just going to take that one down. I think it might be time to wager again.
I think you're probably
let's
right.
give it a go.
I guess you get to go first this time.
I surely do. Keith here pointing out that you can go dozens of hands with nothing playable. That is
Yeah,
absolutely true.
That's why I'm saying, like, sure, she has a 0% VPIP, but she also has been at the table for 4 hands now, and it is beige T-shirt day at TCH. Not sure why everybody's wearing them.
I love it though.
Yeah, we got
Jay
a little.
Wynn's like, nah, bro. I got the darker shade.
He has like the OG beige, and Andrew and Jazz literally bought theirs at the door right now.
So my gamble didn't go through. Maybe I'm off by like
Yeah,
a minute or
this
two.
says no. It says no connection on here, so I don't know if maybe the Wi-Fi is down.
I mean, it shows it in the chat, but it didn't actually gamble me.
Oh, yeah. Then I guess we're probably just early.
Oh no, you stole my 92.
Yes.
How did it not give me the roll?
Because I rolled first last time.
So we were literally like
Yeah,
10
must have been.
seconds away,
Yeah.
and you just swiped my 92. Oh my god.
I needed that.
That's so gross. Cool. I'm just gonna beat you. 92 schmindy-2. How about a 95?
Man, if you beat the 92, I'm going to be really sad. I don't know if I'm going to gamble with you again.
You're just gonna have
After
to
you
walk out of
just,
the-
like, destroyed me in PLO flips the other day.
Yeah, that was pretty lovely. Maybe now that I'm a moderator, I can't gamble. Oh no, there it is.
16.
Oh,
Okay,
you
that's
would have gotten a
super
16.
appropriate. That's good. Thank you, Streamlabs, for keeping my hope and dreams alive. Thank you.
Oh, that was a bad beat, man. Anthony here
no.
going for the business. Snap shows the dirty diaper, but Magician was in there with just 9 high, so it was a battle of the Garbos, and Andrew came out on top.
Yeah, I mean, I like when people show bluffs, and I'm like, dude, I had 7 high. Like, congratulations, but I can't call. I don't
Yeah?
It's not like I folded an actual hand to you.
Yeah. Yeah, but like they don't know that. They just got it one through with the.
Well, when they
high.
show me the 3 high bluff, I'm like, dude, this means nothing to me. I was going to try and bluff you, and you got to it first, so congratulations.
I lose every dollar I have. You're right. I could run.
Andrew here with 100% aggression frequency. You can pull that up here in a moment.
I'll do it right
Or
now.
right meow.
Right meow. 7 hands. He has only come in as the aggressor, and that sounds about right. That's not his VPIP, though, so. VPIP, we're looking at 29%, so yeah. Of 7 hands, that must be 3.
Let's go, Matt.
Not even.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't really.
No, 2. I guess 29% of 7, that doesn't really
Yeah, I feel like the
work out
numbers
to
are.
any logical number of hands.
I don't know where those numbers come from. Some sort of slight math error in the hamster wheel on the inside of this computer, but who knows? Andrew just gets a walk, so there you go. Take it down. Shipping pots. JL has taken
Oh, no, it's just
a
2.
step away.
That's 29. That's right.
Somebody to take that
Well then, your hamster wheel's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yours is also, so.
No, I just believed you.
That
Linda.
doesn't mean that you. That doesn't make yours working correctly if your hamster wheel chose to believe my math.
Well, okay. So I will just disbelieve you in the future,
That's
and
a good
then
choice.
that'll be a good choice.
Yeah.
Perfect. We're all caught up.
Ragnar pointing out that Andrew usually wears a shiny green jacket. You are correct. I think it's black and green or something along those lines,
Yeah.
but with some sheen.
Got to get that sheen, yo.
Sheen.
All right, John here going to open the cutoff to 75. Jay-Win squeezing from the small blind, and John going nowhere.
6-5 suited, one of my favorite hands of all time.
Both players making a pair as well here. Top pair for Jay-Win, bottom pair for John.
John's also got a backdoor flush draw. Let's see what he does.
This is a small
Flow,
continue
yeah.
here from Jay-Win. I would like a larger size, but he is going to get the call from the
And now
6.
here comes the hearts. Now John's going nowhere.
Also puts out a straight for Queen 9.
Indeed.
Jay-Win going to go for just under half pot here, 550 to go. And yeah, John will certainly be continuing. And playing this one in position, not going to go for any sort of spicy raise. Just going to see if he can pick up a 6-5 or a heart. No, it's a board pairing 8 of clubs.
Yeah.
Let's see if Jay-Win goes for the check to induce or goes for another value bet.
If he goes, no, he goes for the check or for the bet, and John's just probably gonna let it go. I don't know. He's running good. He might just gift some of those chips back to the table.
This is a very small bet here, 800. This is not quite in the blocker territory because it's like 1/3, but whenever you see 1/3 on the river, it's just almost never a bluff. John, though, cutting out calling chips, is skeptical for this price. It's like if someone had Queen 9, if someone had pocket aces, like are they betting that amount? No.
John, so, and I think the bet from Jay-Win, having experience playing with John in the past, is the right move.
Sure.
Because John is known to be both very sticky
Sure.
and very inclined to check back
Yeah, I know.
any hand.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Besides, like, the absolute simple
Sure.
or a 100% bluff. So, if he has anything that he could bluff catch with, he's going to call. So I think it's...
Yeah, and Jay-Win sort of interacts with all of the 9s anyways, like King 9, Jack 9, right? Like those hands, he either blocks the King 9 or the Jack 9 is just going to snap check back and try to get a showdown with the pair of jacks. So, yeah, no, I absolutely think that the bet is appropriate there. And by going for the small sizing, even though it just sort of has the big flashing value sign blinking above his head, does still get it paid off. Jazz here finds kings. She's all in.
Scratch all tickets.
Of course she is.
This is how Jazz rolls. She finds a big hand, she rips it in. And
On this 21? Oh, I think we missed it. Yeah.
What's your name? Jaywin?
But I can imagine it because I've seen that face before.
yeah, like,
So for those of you, that's the classic, what are you doing?
yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, Jazz doing Jazz things. She's,
Yeah, just
she's all
ripping
in
it.
with her
She
premium.
made $15, and she can cash out a winner if she
Book
chooses it. now.
it. Oh, wait, she's going to be
Actually-
in the blind now.
Yeah.
No way, really?
I guess she's still up $5.
If there were 2 there, I was like,
Do 7.
She's going to be the blinds next hand, though. Yeah. No, I mean, if she was in the big blind, she probably would have made more money.
Find out.
You know?
Oh, yeah, somebody would have opened.
game of integrity. Pretty gangster though. Like, I'm just tired of folding, so I'm just gonna jam.
All right. All this talk about food earlier has made me really hungry, so I'm going to order some food. Because I can.
John here, first to act. Yeah, ace-7 off, just not quite good enough. Magician, though, 10-9 off. I'm going to go ahead and flat this one. We can also see that the chip stacks are incorrect in the software there. We can see that Magician has many more dollary dues than 1.4K.
Yes. It looks like he's sitting on about 4,
Yeah.
4.5, something like that.
I don't think it's over 4, but it's very near to 4.
He's got a couple black chips under that pink one.
Yeah, but if you move those blacks over to that
Oh
third
yeah, you're
stack
probably
of
right. It's
green-
probably about 4, just about 4, somewhere in that
Anyways,
range.
does flop an up and down straight draw, does Magician. Jay Wynn here gonna bet his gutty to Broadway. And Andrew with the most underwhelming of pairs, gonna go ahead and let that one go. Magician, of course, will be continuing. And does so as a call. Gonna be out of position. King would be super nasty.
Yeah.
Comes a deuce instead. Jay Wynn here should go for a size up. I'd like to see 450, 500 from him here. $4.25 is the bet from Jay Wynn. And Magician now just going to get out of the way. Yeah, kind of tough. Not really a good way to continue, even though you are folding what feels like a lot of equity with the up and down straight draw. You just out of position, and that size says go away. So you do. All right, let's take a look at John's line graph here, because he had some heat real quick, and then we haven't seen a whole lot from him for a little while.
I love this line graph. It's fun.
Yeah, pocket nines were responsible for those 2 big jumps up, and then getting sticky against Jaywin with the 6-5 suited, responsible for that little dip down. All right, folds over to JL in the cutoff. He's going to take a pretty speculative hand and raise it up to 85. Zach here not going to go for a squeeze, just going to play this one in position with king queen off. Definitely a mixed frequency 3-bet and flat. That hand most of the time. Comes a couple of 6s and a deuce. And one of the problems with having queen tray off is that you are going to whiff just about every board in the world, this being one of them. But he does going to just put a little c-bet out there and see if he can get away with it. I think Zach here holding the 2 overs with the queen of hearts actually has a continue, and he does. 5 of hearts now on the turn. JL has no heart, but does pick up a gutty. And of all the things in the world to have in your hand, queen 3 offsuit, no heart, yeah, you kind of just have to keep going. 340 in the middle. I think a size up to 275 here is in order. Let's see if he goes for it. He is just going to go for the check, and going to be almost impossible to win this hand now.
The river is
Sweet 3 or a 4, yeah. But yeah, now Zach is just going to bet here, as he can put a lot of pressure on ace highs. Like if JL has ace jack here with no heart, that is now just sort of like, oh, I like the flop, but I don't love the turn. He's probably just going to have to fold, and so queen high, king high, good. There you go. Zach takes it down with the best hand. But still feels good when you bet
I'm trying to get it.
like that.
Yeah, with king high, for sure.
I
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a bluff. It's not, but
I thought I had a heart too. I was like,
I like the bluff
Hey.
with the best.
Talking to you.
please be a queen of hearts under here. It wasn't.
Can't,
what are you doing?
I'm trying to squash this thing.
You call me that with 23.
Well, you try clicking the button, lady. Yeah, it doesn't work for you either.
That's why he
Huh.
takes this long break. You guys will find out.
I got my people shooting for me.
This is the
For the first time, I'm actually considering.
Now I know I'm crushing more salt than oil.
unblockable bot.
That's either very good or very bad for you. But variance activated.
I got all the canal.
No, Aaron's gonna do it from his phone, I think.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. It just wouldn't let me do it. It wouldn't let me do it here either.
Yeah, something weird happening in our chat
Yeah.
box on the master machine. It's the stupid freaking hamsters, man. I don't know something.
What's up?
They went
Oh,
to
they're
bed
gone?
already.
They
What?
just checked out already?
Oh man, what are the squirrels in now?
Super lame.
Oh god, we're working with secondhand squirrels for the rest of the night. Well, do apologize for that, people, but we'll do our best with what we've got.
Let's take a look at, just see J-Win's graph. Keep an eye on it as the stream continues. Right now we're seeing up in the 1400-ish plus range.
Yeah. And
After
I believe
taking
that
a dip early.
little bump down there at around hand 15 was his pocket nines for
Yeah.
40 bucks.
Yep. Sounds about right. All right. JL raising the ace-queen suited, a very pretty looking hand.
Finding at least one customer in John over there in the small blind. Yeah, king queen here. So domination for John, but gonna see a flop out of
Please
position.
don't put a 9 on this flop.
Find a queen.
I'm an American, damn it.
Spice things up.
I know I'm reading.
No nines.
We know who I'm reading.
A queen and a king here. John going to flop top two. Checks it over to JL. And JL here looks to be betting. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and put $100 across the line.
He was not
A little bit of back and forth perhaps between John and JL here, but John going to click him to 200. And yeah, min raise never made anybody fold, so JL going to have to call this one. Does feel kind
Not
of
anybody
weird.
who has an actual hand. It does occasionally work against bluff, though, you know?
I mean, I guess.
Or you just get min clicked back and you go, oh, shoot, what did I
It's on
do?
you first, sir. Go ahead. You do what you need to do.
All right, 7 of spades here. It's a bet of 500 now from John. And I think now JL, I mean, 10 jack and jack 9, I guess, are sort of just a couple of bluffs that you could find. I don't know, man. Those are pretty speculative already to think that they'd min click you with that, but does make the call. 10 of spades on the end. Putting a very connected board here together. John, of course, not worried about any other two pairs coming in. He's like, please, Jesus, have king, queen, or sorry, king 10 of hearts. But the bet of 1.5K here, full pot. I don't know. JL would have to be a serious non-believer or even turn his ace-queen into a bluff with the Broadway blocker here, but kind of tough to rep that one. Also has the sort of patented quizzical sideways head look thing going on, which usually indicates that there will not be a raise incoming. But definitely in the tank here, thinking this one through with the second pair. It does make the call here, believes that John is up to no good, and king, queen on its back, and JL will realize that, yeah, he just got outflopped.
Yep.
And
So confident.
hey, that man is
I
slimy.
have 7.
John will chip back up over the 17K mark and back into 10K profit territory.
Go ahead.
Nice hand, nice.
Peek at everybody's profits for the evening so far. We do have 5 players in the green now, so
It is.
Jasmine, despite taking down that $15 earlier, is unfortunately down 15 total from
Yeah, those
paying
blinds
the
have been
blinds
vicious.
twice. You know,
Vicious.
I know.
You know who
Can't
next.
blind it out. Slicer down at the bottom.
After that
Quite the hit.
magnificent cooler, that was just a thing to behold. One outer on the river for John, set over set. If anybody tuned in and missed that, definitely worth going back to see. It was something like hand number 6 or 7 or something like that. It was just absolutely disgusting. Matt Benjamin joining us here in the chat. What's going on, man? Thank you for those kind words. Always good to have you as well.
Oh yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. We forget to tell you to do that, but you guys should remember.
More of an
Do
ask,
it.
really, but you know. Do it.
Do it.
now. Always do appreciate it when you guys help us out. Hitting that like button does improve the chances of us getting a Grammy, Emmy, or some other such
Yeah,
award one day.
obviously.
Yeah. Magician here going to flop an up and down straight draw. On
Again,
has
I feel like
up and downer
every
as well.
hand that he just flops up and down.
Ah, he gets there and On does not. So Magician here will be winning unless a 10 peels off. It's not. Did that check through?
It
On
did.
the turn, it
Yeah.
did. Magician bets with the straight draw and then checks when he hits it. Now goes for a over bet,
Yeah, I mean,
missing all of the value that he
Yeah.
could have had on the turn because On would call. I
with
mean,
his
a
inferior straight
substantial
draw,
amount.
for sure. But missed that one.
Anyone for lobby thinks on how much?
I mean, On is also an opponent that when checked to will sometimes sort of attack you. So
Lobby thinks
I mean,
Right.
I
how
don't
much action he
hate
has
the
on
idea of turning the nuts and then checking to give your opponent an opportunity. But if they have an ace, for example, right? It's an ace high board. If they have an ace, they're going to call any amount you bet anyway.
Right.
And if they don't have an ace, then I guess checking to them makes probably more sense. I don't know. You just yeah, I guess it goes. It's whatever. Didn't get the value that he could have on that one. We can see the cards, so I know sort of what happened, but the way it is.
What was the buy-in?
All right, dealer change. That means it's time for a
Hey, watch out.
Oh yeah,
board
I just,
PLO.
I just heard an announcement.
I'll bet he's in.
I forgot we're having a tournament tonight.
No, that's not correct.
So let's get started. Every Monday we now have a 2K guaranteed PLO tournament, $60 buy-in on Monday at rebuys.
It wasn't 10.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's every Monday now. So that'll be happening concurrently with this stream. So if you happen to be around and you want to get in the mix on some low buy-in PLO tournament, kind of maybe get your feet wet in PLO if you're not familiar with the game. It's a great way to
I didn't want the
You want
action.
to put a 50 on it?
Try it out.
25.
Heck yeah, man.
JL?
Yeah, I enjoy playing PLO, and I think that I could.
Believe you, you have to believe you.
I mean, I've seen you, every time I've seen you play PLO, you just absolutely destroy the table, like just crush it. But I think it's only been once. And at the time you're like, I don't really play PLO, I don't really know what I'm doing, and it was just like,
It wasn't a bomb pot. You're talking about actual.
no. This was like probably,
I don't get to tell you the amount, but this is not a limit.
Oh, okay. All right.
but
Oh, you're thinking of when we were playing mixed game, probably.
nope,
No.
it was just a PLO.
Well, there you go.
You believe that?
I definitely haven't done that very much. Probably one time.
So that's why I'm saying every single time that I've seen you play, you just crush
Well, I've
it,
got
man.
one data point. That's
Yeah,
all we need.
you're at 100% win rate
I'm a
in
PLO
PLO games.
crusher.
Yeah.
Let me try. America, let me try. Oh, this, oh yeah.
I do enjoy PLO. I certainly enjoy
I do
playing
too. I
the,
definitely
bomb
think
pot.
it's exciting. It's fun. It's a ton of action.
Watch me right now. They know I
It's just one of those things that can be very costly. So you gotta pick stakes that you can survive the swings. You know, something happened here.
Oh, man, he had the face too.
I saw you.
It's
True.
typically Seth's fault,
That's the Texas.
regardless of what it is.
Oh, no, it
We got Ben Miney here joining us in the chat. What's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. Just dropping in for a minute. Well, enjoy your minute or minutes.
I'm laughing
With us?
so hard at the connect.
As Seth will
Everybody
attempt
up there
once
knows
more
I'm
to
like,
get the cards
dude
dealt
is
out
nowhere near
appropriately.
Canadian. He is 100% American.
And we will continue along
Yeah.
But please,
here on TCH Live.
You're
Sunday.
entertaining the
I'm your host,
Canadians.
Aaron McAvoy, joining me tonight, Carolina Hapgood.
That's what they
And
say.
yeah, we're watching some 5-10 uncapped, no limit Texas Holdem.
Did you buy some of the action? Or
All right, first board is out. King 4 deuce, couple of spades. Ace high rainbow board on bottom. So we'll get these cards scanned in. We'll see who's working with what. It looks like top and bottom pair here for J-Win. And the bottom pair on the bottom board. Checkable hand. Whole lot of not much out there. We're checking all the
Yeah.
way through.
Queen of clubs on top doesn't change much of anything. 9 of spades on the bottom also doesn't change. Brings in more draws on both boards, but there are no real nutted made hands here, so it doesn't matter what you got. JL's gonna, he's got top set, so I mean.
And he had spade flush draw, so I guess he was maybe going for a check back raise on the flop.
Yeah,
So that's a very strong hand.
yeah, he's the only one with huge amounts of equity here. Although Zach's got straight draws on both boards and now has the 10 high club draw on the top board.
Yeah, Jay
Still-
went well out in front of that with the nut club draw, but it does brick out. Ace 3, 6, 3 makes a straight on top. No one holding that. Board pairing 8 on the bottom. John picks up trips.
It's not an
No,
eight,
that's
it's a
oh,
4.
it was a misread for a second. So 4.
Yeah, so 2-5 is 2 pair on top and the straight on the bottom.
Yeah, nobody
And
holds
that's
that.
really it.
So yeah, it looks like JL here with the top set on the bottom is actually going to take that pot. Jay win with 2 pair on top.
Yeah, but can't feel confident about king deuce.
Full pot size bet here from
He should be able to scoop it. Yeah. J-Win's not going to call him down with 2 pair on top. So. J-Win's got 2 pair on top and 1 pair on the bottom. Yeah, he can't make a call there, even though we can see that he did have half that board. So that full size pot size bet gets him the scoop. So that's the way to play the bomb pot there.
Yeah, nicely played by JL. Gonna drag a pretty good one. And we'll get back to the 2 card game here in the next hand. Ben Miney here lamenting the fact that can't do the double board bomb pots up in Dallas.
Someday,
yet.
someday, Ben, you'll get there.
All right, 5-10, 25 is on. Or the 20, it looks like maybe just the 20.
Yeah, it looks like 20. The straddle's not mandatory, so I think this is actually logged out of something. So.
Yeah, something happened in our chat, that's for sure. But don't worry.
Ben, did you get that? Good job. I think Ben got it.
Oh, thank you, sir. All right, folds over to Jay Win in the small blind. He's got a raggy ace, so he's going to go for the open. And King 9, not going to defend from the straddle. Very conservative play there from JL. In position, deep stack, blind on blind. I think King 9 is a pretty solid continued hand there, but
Zach's
JL
going to go ahead and put on the double straddle. So it's going to be 5, 10, 20, 40.
You sound like a jaded man. I took 4 days off and it's like fun tonight.
You just gotta rest for people like me. It's probably different. Annoying too much.
I always have more fun when I take a week off.
Ben also very impatient, we see.
Let that dopamine build back up.
Yeah.
Ride a high.
It doesn't feel
Yeah,
like
let it.
it doesn't feel like a chore. Like it actually feels like something you're
Right.
coming back to.
Zach
That dopamine.
sitting on 10 deuce offsuit in that double
Too much
throttle.
of anything is
Probably not super pumped that he put it out there.
Dude, no, that hand works magic.
Well,
Let's go. Getting the walk. And nobody
just
had
gonna get a
any.
walk. That's the dream with that. It did work magic. It was.
Some red.
You really get that bad?
Poker monkey, scooping kilo, double board bomb pots on dealer change at 2-5 tables. Yeah, that's they tend to be quite spicy at the 2-5 tables here at TCH Austin. Games play really deep.
This is second shift.
And
I love to play morning PLO.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It might be his third shift.
people like to
Second shift.
Only
get a
guy I
little
know that
crazy.
plays
2 boards just changes everything.
It sure does. Yeah. No, I think it's a fairly regular occurrence, like, you know, at least once a day where there's like a 5K pot brewing in a PLO bomb pot at the 2-5 table. John gonna raise it up here. KJ, if I'm not mistaken, looks like Jaywin folded that hand as well. Magician is in here with the Jack 10 offsuit. Both players gonna find a Jack. On in here with threes and makes bottom set.
Oh,
Top pair for 2 players and bottom set for another. Definitely gonna see some action here. 630 in the middle. The effective stack is not Magician on $965. We can see he has well over 3,000.
yeah.
If you played PLO this morning, yeah.
John betting his top pair.
Just got more stamina today, you know?
Magician gonna raise, and On is sitting back and saying, "Oh, give me the money."
Yeah, and On here who is shipped up now to over 7,000
Yep.
is going to
Go.
raise again. 3 bets already on the flop. This should be alarm bells for at least Magician. John also out of there. John gets bailed out.
Magician gonna go ahead and make the call. Or, no, he's gonna raise all in. And I mean, I don't think On could, I guess he could theoretically fold this and just say, I guess it's set over set and I'm dead.
Never.
But I don't think he should or will.
Never. I think he's already called.
Oh, he didn't go all in. Never mind. He just called. It was because his stack was wrong that it said all
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah.
Is this your first shift of the day? Yes.
Okay. So it was just a call. We're going to continue. Ben saying he really doesn't like the raise, I'm assuming from On. I think On is probably trying to protect against a heart draw. And so I understand his thought process behind it. I don't know that it's the right play.
I mean, there's already a ton of money in there, so you know you'd love to get more, but when you're up against 2 opponents,
Right.
yeah, it can be dicey.
I
think
so
you can go either way.
And like I said, I absolutely understand it, and I don't disagree with the rationale. And I don't know necessarily how I would play it. It would really depend on who the opponent is.
Yeah. On is all in, and Magician calls drawing dead, so all of these chips are about to move over to On's side of the table, as Magician literally cannot find a card in the deck that will improve his
Yeah,
hand to the winner.
and I'm sure Magician is thinking On's on the flush draw or something. Which,
He's certainly hoping so.
yeah, I don't know why else you would call with top pair garbage kicker.
Yeah, set of 3s here turned over, and Magician knows that he is toast. Nothing in the deck can help him, and is going to stand up and just watch his fate be sealed by the Queen of Diamonds there on the end. As a 7K pot going the way of On.
Ragnar is pointing out that On is the splashiest player of all time, so nobody's going to fold to him, which is how he gets paid in these big spots, you know? A lot of other players are going to play it more conservatively, are going to play it as a call, try and get max value out of their opponents because that's the only way that they can get their opponents to put more chips in the pot. But
I feel like they're programming for
Yes,
hard.
yes.
On knows that
Someone didn't catch his eye.
Just going to pull up a little line graph comparison here between On and Jay Win. We will get On's big win here posted after this hand, so that'll update momentarily. But On here had been taking a beating, so that that win going to move him back into the positive or very close to it, I believe.
Yeah, Kristen did mention that the pot may have gotten, the numbers may have gotten a little mixed up on there. So not 100% sure that it's going to get straightened out for this graph, but we're going to find out.
No.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it was registering as like 6,800, which was going to be pretty close to what it was
Yeah.
for sure.
Florida live stream.
Not much.
Florida live stream.
Who doesn't want to stream
Okay.
None.
Yeah, we're gonna try that again in a minute and see if maybe we can get that straightened out.
Okay. Does look like Captain
Four raises 35.
slash Magician is going to take his lead after that. Okay, so we're still waiting on Magician to return. Says he was going to come back, but we may not see that seat filled just for a few minutes as he perhaps goes to pick up a reload.
Who are you going for?
Let's see here. Looks like we've got a single raise pot going heads up to a flop here.
Nice.
CJ, thank you for that feedback. We always do like to hear what y'all have to say about the new graphics, the new setup, the new table, everything. But if you don't appreciate it, that feedback is also welcome. So thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, not everybody's gonna love it. It's fine.
And honestly, if everybody hated it, we would want to know. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
we've gotten mostly positive feedback. I think that the graphs and the plots and everything have been pretty well done. We've had a few reworks and some tweaks that have made them better, and hopefully we'll get more and more iterations that will just continue to improve this setup as we move forward.
Yep. And I mean, I think the graphics and the stats and stuff are really cool, and the fact that we can bring them up on demand and that they are, there's a lot more options for what information we can show. All right, so we do have, I think this is going to be updated now, so I'm going to show John and
The offense isn't really going through him.
yeah, there we go.
But like, you're not getting any turning ball. Every time he touches the ball, he starts to get rid of it. Like,
All right, there's that big win from On there in the last hand. Yeah, moving him almost back into parity.
He's about 500 down. John's still sitting on the plus 10K range.
Pretty solid showing here for Mr. John G. All right, $25 straddle is on John. Going to go ahead and raise this up. Andrew will make the call. And now on the button here with ace-jack suited, just going to make this call. And over to Slicer, who just ditches ace-10 suited, no problem. I can't believe that's actually his hand, but if it is, then that's a very conservative fold. Being
Oh,
suited
and
like
look at that flop.
I
Flop's
mean,
open-ended.
I get that. No, there's just no chance that he folded ace-10 diamonds there. It's just not-
I don't know. We'll have to ask him after the stream.
I mean, because even if you think that like the dynamics are such that your ace is dominated a lot of the time, which he was, you still have equity with the diamonds. And,
Right.
Broadway draw. Anyways, not to be. We've got a battle of the ace-jacks here. John betting on calling. Both players, top pair, top kicker. Six of spades doesn't really change much. Does complete.
Oh,
the
Ragnar
7.
Overby
never
mentioning
mind.
Jazz
7, 10 was already
folded
there.
9s pre.
Okay, John.
Did she fold 9?
I
oh
guess.
My God. Well, she clearly wasn't paying attention because she wasn't here
Yeah,
for the first orbit.
9s are the nuts in this game
I know.
tonight.
I'm just
So,
now.
And 9s would have been the nuts.
yep.
Here.
2 bets 500. 7 call.
John continuing
Showdown.
to bet. He chats with KJ.
Yeah. On says, I got a jack too. And an ace. Let's go.
Chop it up.
You don't have to bet, John.
I'm going to step out for just a moment, grab a
Sure.
Topo Chico. You want anything?
Yeah, I will also take a Topo Chico.
Very good. Be right back.
All right.
Thank you, On.
Moving right along. John and On chopping up that $70 or $140 of dead money in there. We're going to take a look at these VPIP numbers. This VPIP is showing Jasmine still at 0%, which is not right. She shipped it all in with kings, so we know that's not true.
Yeah, I know. Give it another shot.
Shadow live 25. Live 25. Four fold,
All right, we're waiting for the graphics to catch up.
four fold. 4 fold, 5 fold.
JL going to open 6-4 suited. One of my favorite hands.
7 8 raise.
On getting out of the way with a 3 of something and 3 something. Zach going to 3-bet on the button with King Queen of Hearts. Slicer and John out of there. And JL not going to continue there. Heads up, I don't know. I probably want to see a flop with that hand. Mad Benjamin says you definitely missed the world's most amazing hand, although you were gone for 15 seconds and are already back.
I
so
missed
you-
the most amazing.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, no.
Sorry, dude.
Quick recap.
You just did, that was it. You saw it.
Oh, I didn't miss it then.
No,
Good Lord.
you didn't miss anything.
You
You,
got
didn't
me
even
all
miss.
pumped
You
up.
actually didn't even miss a whole hand.
Yeah, I'm fast as lightning. I'm like Superman.
Yeah. You clearly just went straight to the fridge, grabbed Topo Chico, and ran back.
Yeah, there was no running involved, but apparently.
You're tall, so long legs. Speed
Yeah,
walking.
yeah. No, it was a brisk walk.
Now Slicer going to 3-bet his ace-10 offsuit, so that would lead me to believe, yeah, he probably didn't fold ace-10 suited, but I don't know. Who
No, there's
knows?
no chance.
It's very different being the 3-better versus calling a 3-bet, though. So, I mean, maybe he did. I don't know.
It was a single raised pot.
Oh, was it? Oh, never mind. Then he crazy.
Yeah, it didn't happen. It wasn't real.
On picks up a gutter, well, a straight draw, wheel draw.
But yeah, generally speaking, a good board for
Gonna go ahead and
Slicer's
raise.
range.
But I'm going to go ahead and check or raise in position and take it down.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, On's aggression will get him a ton of these small pots just because, like, the idea behind c-betting at a high frequency is that, like, you have the range advantage and your opponents are just going to miss a lot of the time.
Yeah,
It's
of
just, like,
course.
hard to make a pair or better. And so when you have someone like On who just, like, raises you sort of sporadically a lot, he's also going to win a lot. And in
Yeah.
fact, like, sometimes against players like that, it's like, maybe c-betting against this dude is just like,
No,
it makes you shiver a little because you're just going to get raised a ton anyway.
I think you definitely should adjust your c-betting frequency depending on who you're playing against. So if you know that your opponent has a tendency to check raise you on, you know,
any board, even if you're
60%
like,
of the, even if it's, you definitely have that board. Like if you know you're getting c-bet every time, even when you should have all the hands that win there, you just check it back when you don't have it,
Yeah.
and you know, minimize your losses instead of making, or see bet smaller if you know you're getting. And then when you do have it, you can go ahead and re-raise on top and a third bet, things like that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
On here with the 9s, flops an overpair to the board. Doesn't have a set just yet. But JL in here with the 2 big cards. Gonna have a hard time continuing as On is lining up an over bet here.
Yeah, huge bet. 350 into 185.
It's gonna be about 350. About 2x the pot. And King Queen does not function well as anything here.
Yeah.
Ditch it.
And On's going to show the 9s and say, I had the best hand.
9s are winning some pots tonight, that's for sure. This one a little bit bigger, 3 times as big as the one Jay won with 9s.
True
but,
story, yeah.
Nowhere near as large as the pot that John won with both of his.
Yeah. John getting max value with the 9s compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
I think On maybe could have gotten a couple more dollars in the pot if he bet a little smaller, but at the same time, you know, he's protecting his 9s from a king or a queen coming out.
Yeah, you're pretty.
Which
comfortable
I
with
think
nines.
On is having played with him and having him say why. Sometimes he'll just be like, well, you know, I didn't want the flush draw to continue. I didn't want the overcards to continue. I don't want to see another card, basically.
Yeah.
So sometimes when he bets really big like that, that's his thought process. And once you know that, you can exploit that too.
Ooh, Jazz has a hand and she's all in.
Ooh, ace
of
queen.
clubs. Yeah, I mean, I think that's bottom of the range.
That has to be the absolute bottom.
Like 9s didn't make it in there, but ace queen suited does. So I think like maybe 10s is like 10s and ace queen suited plus is sort of her jamming range.
I don't even know if she would do it with 10s.
Yeah, maybe not. No, I think, I don't know.
What's
10s
On
is
got?
pretty good.
Is On going to double her up with queen 10 offsuit?
We're under 1,000.
Yeah, somewhere under or
Little,
Jazz may be able to take down $25-ish. No, it's more than that. She only has 970, so that's $55.
yeah, because On limped for 20,
970.
so this pot is huge. Yeah. I mean, the fact that On is even thinking about this is sort of silly, but On will take his TV time and then let it go. I mean, yeah, I think everybody, whether they've played with Jazz before or not, you could just kind of get the vibe of like, wait, she's just like playing no hands
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden all
I
in.
mean, she's not,
Respect.
it's very clear she does not have any intention of playing any hands post-flop. Which, if you don't feel comfortable playing post-flop, then I guess you just, you know, take your premiums and just get it all in. You play short stack, you just jam your premiums, and then try and get a call from worse or whatever, but I don't know what the strategy is.
Again, did you?
I hate that move for myself, personally. Jamming all in pre-flop with, like, anything ever. I would
Yeah.
much rather go post-flop.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, most of the players that come into the 510 streets are definitely going to be, you know, veterans of the game. They've got a lot of experience. They're going to know how to navigate a lot of spots post. And then, you know, every once in a while you have someone like Jazz. She's here to have fun. She's here with her boyfriend, and she's going to put $1,000 on the table, and she's going to rip it.
And
when
nobody's
she
going to
finds a good
complain about her putting money on the table.
Absolutely.
Because eventually someone will have a hand that they can call her with, and either she's going to double up or they're going to get that $1,000. And that's kind of all there is to it.
That is for sure. 3 ways to this board.
On
Check
has
through on the
top
flop.
pair, but Zach turned twofer. Twofer.
I like the little side flick bet that Zach does. He sort of like flicks it off to the side with his thumb. He's got a little
Someone
flourish
else
there.
does that too. I'm trying to think who it is. Kevin Rand.
Hey, Rand with the side flick. Yeah.
The little twist. That's who. I think that's who does it.
On makes the call on the turn and rivers another king here, counterfeiting Zach.
Yeah.
And Zach has already assumed the folding position, I do believe, but I mean, it's also the king of diamonds, so like everything just got there.
Right.
The problem for Zach is that like his
It's on.
hand functions as a really good bluff candidate, but like you don't want to do this to On. You don't want to give On the business. Oh,
No.
he's gonna go for it. Oh no, he's just gonna.
Nope. Yeah,
no,
going for
oh,
it.
he's gonna go
Ooh.
for it. Yeah.
On's gonna think about it though. On realizes that he is losing to some hands. There are hands that he will lose to. I don't think he's ever folding, but he'll think it through and just say like, probably if you got it, you got it.
I mean, so.
And then Zach will be like, I don't got it.
Yeah. We've seen On fold some hands before, for sure, in these types of spots, but I just don't think this one's getting through.
I don't think so. I think he's just.
Oh, no! He's gonna do it!
He's gonna show Zach exactly what he's holding. Oh, he's not. Okay. All right.
There it is.
And Zach's like, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like Zach's idea there, and against a different opponent, 8-7 is just sort of the best bluff combo that you have. You block all of the boats. It's just sort of brilliant, but this guy is just gonna call you.
Yeah.
And like he's never.
I
Like,
did
he's
get one
not
really
flush.
big bluff through on once, and he did the same thing where he showed me his cards,
Yeah.
and I had king high, but he showed me, and it took him like a good 2-3 minutes to fold, because he showed me ace high, and I was like, please don't call me ace high on. Please don't. And I was just like sitting there sweating it out, and he did find the fold.
Oh man.
And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God he only had ace high.
I know. Thank
Give
God
him
you didn't have a
trips, dude. He would've
pair.
snapped you up.
So I will not try that again against Don. After the amount of time that he put in thinking it over with ace high,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, there are different trees to go barking up.
Yeah.
That one.
Yep.
That one doesn't respond.
No. On is the type of player you're going to want to just bet for value against.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you get to that spot and you feel sort of compelled to turn 8-7 into a bluff. And most of the time it's going to be like, yeah, you probably should. But you have to zig and zag based on your opponent. That is for sure. That's like the biggest thing in poker, especially when you look at GTO, as though that's sort of like the baseline that you want to try to implement. Deviation is critical. Like anyone who just goes and blindly plays GTO against Jazz, for example, or someone else, like you're totally doing it wrong.
Right.
100% way wrong. And so the idea is not to play GTO all the time. It's to play GTO as a baseline. And if you go up against someone else that you think's playing GTO,
Well, then
cool.
yeah,
You're just gonna crash.
you can go by the book and just play GTO the whole way through, and nobody's going to win, but okay.
Yeah. And then when you find someone who's clearly not playing that way, which is like On,
right, then you adjust.
You adjust. And yeah, I think that's a pretty key adjustment to make.
Yeah, you have to take a holistic approach to the game. You can't just look at what the solver says to do and then just do it 100% of the time, because not only are you not going to be able to exploit the players' weaknesses and mistakes that they make, but you're going to be exploitable yourself.
Yeah, maybe not exploitable yourself necessarily, but you can put yourself in more positions or put yourself in positions at a higher frequency of failure than would normally be the case. I guess because I think it's important to be technical about it, but we'll come back to it because we got a hand developing here. Zach gonna go ahead and raise out of the big blind after J-Win opened the hijack here. JL calling in between, and yeah, J-Win's out of there, so it's just on the JL, and he's gonna ditch it as well. So like if you literally just played GTO like all the time, then by definition you're not exploitable. However, if you play someone like Jazz, who's just playing like super top of range, and she goes all in, and you play GTO, quote unquote, and you're like calling with pocket sevens and stuff because like it makes sense from
Right.
a GTO standpoint to do that, you are going to lose at a much higher frequency in that spot, even though you would have won all of the other hands that she would have just folded when you were raising with all of your marginal hands and
Right.
stuff. But you don't really want to think about it as like this over the whole sample size. It's like, no, in this one spot, like you should definitely be folding everything except for very, very top of range, because that's the player you're up against.
Well, then that's what
the
I
distinction
mean.
we're
That's
trying to make.
kind of what I'm saying. I don't think that I guess exploitable isn't the right term.
That's the only thing that I took issue with. And by issue is just because the definition of GTO is to try to be
Unexploitable.
unexploitable.
Yeah, sure. I get that. It's obviously not the right wording, but not maximizing.
Win and
Yeah,
minimizing
yeah.
losses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Like, and that's the part where coming in there and turning the dials and tweaking things is super important. And this is something that we work on with my study group, is where you recognize that population isn't behaving as like GTO robots.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so here's our baseline. This is what we want to understand about the game. And then what is it that we're going to tweak around this when we know that they're probably not going to find like the ace deuce bluff. They're not going to find the pocket deuces bluff. They're not, like, if they miss out on these things, or like the weak 3-bets out of the big blind and small blind where people are just always calling, right? Like, you find these spots where people are just dramatically differing from GTO.
Right.
Rerun the solves based
Lord
on what
alive.
you think they're actually doing, and the sky parts and the ray of sunshine comes
Yeah,
down.
and you're
It's
like, oh,
whoa,
this is where
wow.
all the money is.
I don't have to think about doing all these things at these mixed frequencies. It just becomes this like super clear-cut, forward like idea of how to approach the game. Really pretty cool stuff.
No, but I mean, I definitely agree that like the bottom line is adjusting is super key. Just making adjustments is essential to making money in this game.
Yeah.
Period.
Ooh, spicy here, as we've got ace-queen against ace-jack here, but Slicer flopping the nut flush draw. Zach top pair, top kicker. A lot of chips could go in here. This is a 3-bet pot. No, 4-bet? Wait. Yeah, I think this is
3-bet.
4-bet.
3-bet. 4-bet?
There must have been a massive straddle then, because the initial raise to 325 doesn't make a lot of
Okay,
sense.
4-bet.
I think this is a 4-bet pot. Down bet here from Slicer on the flop, looking to pick up a spade on the turn. Does pick up some additional equity though, as it is not a
Hey,
spade.
TV change on
Can now
live.
improve with a king or a 9 to the best hand. Pot of 3K, stack to pot ratio. If Zach's count is correct on screen, okay. All right, so we'll get a look on the other view here in a moment, as Slicer is going to eye up Zach's stack. I think Zach has over the 2.2K that is showing there. Don't know exactly what the stack to pot ratio is at this moment, but we'll take a look here in a second. Slicer here weighing his options and announcing a wager. Looks to be 1,800, no, 2.25. Okay, yeah, we can see Zach is well in excess of the 2.25 we see on screen. He's got 3 just in pinks.
Yeah, it's got to be around 6.
Yeah, 5 to 6K here. If Zach calls now, he will have committed most of his chips and would have a stack to pot ratio of still like 1/3 or something, at best 1/2, and I don't even think that much. So this is a very committing spot. Has to decide right now if he's going to go with top. As we can see here, Zach with the best hand still only has 2/3 of the pot equity. Does make the call. And
Yeah.
heads up we go to a river. Jack 9 spade for Slicer. Sorry, 9 king or spade to improve. It's a jack, and that is not going to do it.
Nope, but
All
Zach probably thinking through all the hands that Slicer could have there that he loses to. And And one of those is ace king of spades, which would play it precisely the same way and just river Broadway.
So now the tricky part here is that Zach has like 3K behind. He's still going to go for it. Slicer's going to go all in and see if he can just get him to fold a queen.
Oh.
King, queen, and ace, queen are in a pretty tough spot here.
Yeah.
As there's just a ton of hands. All of the bluffs just got there.
Right.
Like ace, king just somehow backed into Broadway. If he ever did have something like a king 9, it just got there.
Yeah, I mean, any somehow just ace 9 of spades also got there. Zach's gonna let it go. Slicer gonna scoop, pulling a big one. The numbers are not correct there. It's not 1.6. It's more than that. There was a 6K pot, right? Or 5 point something.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, even more than that. Yeah, it was tricky because a couple of the counts have somehow gotten screwed up. I don't know exactly what happened, but the players either added on or something
Yeah.
didn't get computed correctly. And we had that issue with Magician earlier where it was showing him as having.
And I'm sure he had added on and it didn't get, he,
I'm just.
right, it didn't get reported from the dealer at the table to Kristen in the back, and there's no way for anybody to know when that's the case, so.
We got-
Now I imagine Zach is going to put some more chips in play.
Yeah, we got Matt joining us here in the 3 seat as well, replacing Magician. So Matt is in, Magician is out.
Captain America. Captain America was in
Oh,
Or is he the magician?
momentarily. Okay, apparently getting word the Magician does arrive back for his
Checks
seat.
on low.
Oh.
Perhaps may
We're gonna
not-
kick Matt out after he puts in the straddle. First hand, he's just gonna be down 20 bucks. Without a
see.
doubt.
Maybe he wins with 7-3 off.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, on here, going to raise it up with the 5. Zach squeezes in here with the 8-6 of diamonds, and Slicer here with a squeezable hand is going to take this up.
One raises.
275.
Sounds about right. Matt, not going to continue with the 7-3 offsuit?
Maybe if it was 7 deuce, I don't know.
Maybe. And maybe if the game was also on.
We're crossing. We cross. I don't know which
275.
Let's play this. Call.
Guy left and he said, I'll be right back. But
Zach now compelled to call as well.
it's been a while. I mean, if he's within half an hour, I got no problem.
Slicer's in a tough spot in this particular hand, just because he knows, you know, if he's trying to squeeze and just take down the dead money, that he's got to get through on.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get through on, then he's going 3 ways to a flop.
Yeah, it is tricky, and it goes into what we were talking about earlier about lowering your c-bet frequency.
Also
Someone that's
lowering
gonna
your
raise you a lot.
squeeze frequency
Yeah, because you
with
just
sticky opponents.
it's just going to happen so frequently. But in any case, he does flop bottom pair. He's going to continue for the 350. On, not going to fold the 5s, and Zach with the 8-6 of diamonds, double gutted with the flush draw.
Beautiful flop
I
for that
mean,
hand.
oh, on is raising. He's not even just calling.
Within the first
On does, in fact, have the best hand right now, but
Zach has most of the equity
Yeah.
in his hand, and this has got to be pretty strange. Zach is also 6K or like 5K behind this.
yeah.
So, I mean, this is a natural raising spot. Double gutty with a flush draw, like you. And he just lost that big hand, and like his money hasn't even gotten to the table. His chips haven't even gotten to the table. This is like the quintessential, like, what the hell is my life?
I'm really enjoying Jasmine showing off her profit right now. That the $10 on the right hand side, that's jelly. That's what she's up. $10. Clay coming in with the chip delivery.
Yeah, Zach's gonna rip it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that sort of makes sense because he doesn't really have a bet size that does
Right.
anything in between, leaving enough behind.
Yeah.
That is in play because it was before the hand on
Those are always awkward spots
It was before
Um,
the hand, yeah.
when you're like, man, this seems like just such a massive bet, but at the same time, like if I go any smaller, I don't have a like it just doesn't make any sense with how much I'm left behind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, snap fold from the ace forward on here, seemingly uncomfortable about letting his fives go, and it's. I mean, we can see that he has the best hand and he has 31% equity. Like
Yeah.
fives are just never good here, even if they're ahead. So I don't know. I mean, I get it. On doesn't like to fold, and he doesn't like to get sort of.
and in a
pushed
different
around.
scenario, on this is a a great. On's feeling pretty good about this flop for his hand. Like in a 3-bet pot, like he's got it's 10 high flop.
Yeah, but this is a.
I know,
this is
no,
a
no,
3-bet and then a bet raise, re-raise all.
Oh no, I'm saying in a totally different scenario.
Okay.
When it's just the pre-flop 3-better c-betting and on raising,
Sure.
if Zach doesn't have 8-6 of diamonds exactly, Zach just goes away, and so does Slicer, and he takes out the pot.
Sure.
But once you come to the realization that that's not what's happening, I think
Yeah.
it should be just a snap fold.
That was an alternate reality. That was
In an
somewhere
alternate
off.
reality where Zach is either not in this hand at all, or is in this hand with, I don't know, something else entirely.
I don't know. Something different. Yeah.
Then this works, and it's, he just takes it down. But this is the reality that we're in, and fives may be ahead, but they are probably not going to be. You're going to have some rearranging, some things happening here. Zach shows his 8-6 of diamonds.
Hell yeah. This is a big win. 2.2.
And On says, wait, you didn't have a pair? Zach says, yeah, but I was definitely winning that.
He's like, do you want to call now? Because we can run that
Yeah.
board out.
Zach's like, I will gladly take a call from your pocket fives.
Yeah, I
Thank
have
you.
2 overs, a double gutty. Your 5 is one of the cards, right? Wasn't it
Yeah.
7 or a 5 or a 9?
9 or
9 or a
5.
5 gives them the straight, yeah. But yeah, nice pickup there for Mr. Zach, especially right after losing that big one to Slicer.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's see. It may be time to gamble again. What do you think? Not quite?
Entirely sure. I think it's probably a little early.
525.
Zach's still not quite in the positive, but he's pretty close. Slicer seems to be funding the table. Oh, Slicer and Magician, who's gone.
Yeah, the problem is that pot got kind of screwed up, so Slicer may be closer to parity with his initial, or with his buy-in.
True.
I mean, he's got almost a full barrel of pink over there, which is 10, so maybe even a full barrel. If that
Yeah, I
5 in
believe
front
he's
is-
in for, what, 17.5?
Okay, so maybe it's actually pretty close to
Yeah, I
correct.
think it's
got
not
like
too
12
far
and
off. I am going to step away for a minute, and I will be back. Oh, look at this. John's got kings. Let's see how this goes. All right, I'll see this hand.
change. Yeah, you can't leave now. On is in here. Zach
Oh.
is in here.
95.
Top pair for Zach. Over
John's
pair
got
for
the
John.
king of spades. I don't think anybody's going to feel super good about this,
Well, check.
except for John.
Yeah, Zach has to put the obligatory 420 out there. That's just the way it is. And John will go for the check call with the best hand and the best redraw. On dips out. And Zach is like, can I fade a spade one time? Actually, he'd rather see a spade so that he doesn't put any more money in the middle. But as it stands, it's Queen of Hearts
John's going to lead out now. Interesting.
for over pot.
Yeah, not sure what he's trying to accomplish there. Like, I don't think.
Yeah, kind of doesn't want Zach to check back with a hand as strong as kings here, I suppose.
Yeah,
but the
but
overbet is a little bit
You're
too
not-
crazy.
You're only getting called by
Of course I
probably a pair and the ace of spades. Like in the same, like I don't know, ace four spade or ace four with the ace of spades.
Queen of spades, I think, has to call. It's
I
it's
guess.
just that the hands that would call would also have bet. So
Right,
I don't
right,
know.
right, right. Interesting decision.
Takes it down nonetheless.
Yep. All right, I'll be back.
And I'll hold down the fort while Miss Carolyn takes a step out. Ragnar, that's quite the visual. Yeah, I guess he's got a little bit of the old-timey, like, black and white movie villain vibe going on. Stash and everything. Yeah, I could see it. Great guy, though. In real life. IRL. Great guy. All right. 5, 10, 25. The button and then what else going on here? Oh, indeed. Magician is back. Matt has been kicked to the curb after playing like 2 hands. And we do have Magician back and locked and loaded, so yeah, short period of existence there for Mr. Matt. Did come in on the small blind, so I had to post as well. Zach here going to raise it up to a 100 with a couple of 8s. And Magician is going to make the call here with the ace-10. So heads up we go to a flop. Got this all sorted out.
Yeah, that's 23% field goal. 6 raises, 625.
Oh, it says JL was in here as well. All right, so sorry, we're just getting things sorted out. Looks like JL was in the mix as well. Maybe went for a 3rd bet or something, and then we got a re-raise from Zach with the 8s or something. Oh no, JL is squeezing. I am very confused. Okay. Unclear exactly what happened, but JL did put in the final wager. Zach making the call. Comes a very fortunate flop here for JL as he gets the top pair. JL checks it over, and Zach here, yeah, I know the temptation is there to bet, but like, that's not your board. If your opponent has jacks or 10s or 9s, well, 9s are no good now, but if they do have jacks or 10s, like, they're probably going to check to you again, and then you can bet. There's no reason to bet the flop, because they're still uncapped. JL here is still happy to check. And yeah, now that the second check has come through, Zach, I put the 420 out there. A little chuckle out of on there. Just have something being said on the table, but I do love the 420. That's the standard bet spot. JL should definitely just be calling here. He's taking his time, though. Oh, he's going to raise. That's curious. Yeah. I don't know. Get that queen jack out of there, you know?
Okay, J1 is
Funding secure.
Are you a partaker of
Thank you all for tuning in tonight here. Looks like we've got, what do we have? 250 of you fine folks hanging out with us this evening. Of course, this is each and every Monday. TCH Live here out of TCH Austin. 5:10 going tonight. Tonight, playing some 5-5, you know, mixing things up around here. Nice to have you guys. It's good to be back as well. Out in Vegas last Monday, had Carolyn and Austin holding down the fort. Heard that was a pretty good game while I was out of town. Had a decent run in the housewarming event out there. 20,000 plus entries. Got 405th, so pretty proud of myself for that. Would have loved to have made it further and did go out in kind of a stupid spot, but you know, that's what happens in these tournaments a lot of the time. No, I'm not going to do it, Carolyn. I won't do it. She wanted me to tell the bad beat story, but y'all don't want to hear that. Or maybe you do. JL here taking a page out of Zach's book. He's like, oh, 420, that's what we're doing around here. Let's make it 420. And he will get the job done with 7 high as ace-9 of diamonds hits in the muck. Frank up here rolling hundies. Nice bink right there. Heck yeah. Gamble 250 turned it into a hot 1250.
But this is how you become an advocate. You do it on the table. This is how I advocate for.
Still waiting on Carolyn to do our next wager. She is smashing down what smells like some Chinese.
They technically do have medical here, but it's just
Teriyaki beef or something. Smells fantastic.
as far as I'm aware.
Where's the look at it?
It's like South Austin.
South Austin?
Far south.
On here. Gonna get a teriyaki beef stick
That's why Austin's so weird, right?
and limp in with his mystery hand.
Yeah.
Take care, yo.
The old undirty diaper, the clean diaper.
Oh, not you, sorry.
John's going to eat the packaging off of that turkey as well. He paid for it. He's going to eat the whole thing. Jay Wynn here waking up with a real hand. Ace King. Going to raise this up to 200 on the button facing the limp
Thank you.
from John. As it looks like Jazz is going to go ahead and get out of the way and let Matt play. So Jazz recognizing that, you know, she's kind of just here to have fun and Matt would like to play more seriously. So she is going to do God's work, step up,
Get to Canada
take her leave, and let
December
Matt
2018.
hop on. Very nice.
Sometime in 2019, it was.
Oh, I don't know. Is that recent?
Yeah, it's very, very recent. Very recent.
Do I have an open seat now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, 5, 10, 25.
There's smokes, cannabis all over.
In Austin proper and in Austin, you'll smoke a ton of coffee.
Matt Benjamin, teriyaki cocoa puffs. That sounds fantastic.
But you have to be in Austin. This is real good. Or this is
Yeah, I don't know that I really want to try that. But, you know.
I've raised to 125, 6 4.
John now waking up with kings
7 5.
and limping. Here comes the raise from Andrew, ace-6 off. Zach making the call, on making the call. John making the call. What is going on? I expected John to go for the back raise. He's going to go 5 ways with kings? I don't understand that. Andrew is somehow going to be allowed to see the flop and make top pair aces, and that's going to be good. As I guess John was just going to play tricky trappy even in such a large field and see what he could do, but as it stands, the cascade of folds, and I mean, if John's going to continue, yeah, I guess another street or two before he ditches the kings. I don't know. Deuce of diamonds here on the turn changes nothing. John is going to fire out 1,000 though. Still chewing on that package. Yeah, 1K now, betting almost full pot, and Andrew's like, okay, I don't know what's going on. My 6 kicker is playing, but I can't fold. And it's a 5. No, it's 6. Wait, that looks like a 5, but the board is reading a 6 of hearts. So I presume I misread that. It's going to be 2 pair here. It is a 6. Okay, I misread it. So yeah, 2 pair here for Andrew. 3K in the middle, and if he ever was worried about being behind some sort of ace-10 or whatever that's leading the turn, he is doing just fine. Now, John checking it over does complete the front door hearts, I suppose. So there's some weird world within which you could check this back, but I think you just have to go for a bet here, value for sure, and probably 2K. He's going to go a little smaller. Oh, quite a bit smaller. That's only 1,200. I guess not wanting it to be too large to get an ace priced out. So yeah, I like it. And still the kings are going to fold. So oddly played hand there from John. I've seen him do this before, get kind of tricky trappy with the big pairs, but
You know, I don't know if it's tricky trappy necessarily, because I've never seen he does it with these big pairs, and he almost always loses. So I think it might be PTSD.
yeah, but one of the important things, and this will be just the tip for tonight's segment, is when you have a big hand, like, I understand the PTSD thing. Like, we've all been there where you go on like a stretch of just like, oh, I get aces, cool, I'm gonna get stacked, you know, like, and it happens. But you do yourself a disservice and you set yourself up for failure if you take it multi-way. Like,
Oh yeah,
ace king in particular is one of those hands that like people at the lower stakes that
hate
are a
it.
little
They're
bit
like,
skittish,
oh, I hate it.
they
It's the
either
worst.
they'll like limp it free and then just call, like they're never 3-betting it, they're just calling opens, like all these things, and then they go 5 ways to a flop and miss, and then they're like, oh,
And
I
then they
hate
just
ace king.
fold when ace high is good a lot of the
call.
time.
Or
too.
whatever.
Like
They-
the
yeah.
pre-flop aggressor will bet, and they're just like, oh, well, I didn't hit, so I guess I'm out of here. And it's like, first of all, your ace high is good a lot, and second, I mean, you still probably have outs. Like,
Well,
and
all
it's
of that
not-
is sort of going down the road that's secondary to the fact that when you raise, you force out all the schmutzes, you know, all the crap hands that don't belong in there that are just
well,
gonna
and then
fold.
also you get to be that pre-flop aggressor post-flop who controls the betting lead. So, yeah, limping or flat calling with your big hands multi-way is a terrible plan.
Generally going to result in things like what we just saw with John, where you kind of end up in a weird spot in the hand because, like, oh, my hand's super under-repped, but, like, at the same time, is it ever good here? I don't know. Let me fire in and see what happens. Yeah, it's just weird. Whereas defining your hand as, like, my hand's good, get the hell out of here, is actually not terrible. Like, if you're
No.
heads up, you can get trappy and stuff. Like,
That, and that's the
deception is
bottom.
fine.
That's definitely the key there is heads up. Sure, I love it. I love trapping heads up.
On here, once again, going for the check raise with a very, like, odd hand on a board that doesn't belong to him and getting away with it once again.
Yeah,
Every time
getting
I
lucky
see this,
in that nobody has.
a king.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And that's the amazing thing about someone who is willing to do this.
I mean,
is
to
how
be
often they're
fair,
gonna
like,
get away with
yeah,
it.
that board, in theory, like, should belong to. There's a king on it, but it's king 9-3. Like, he's got effective second pair, and he only is losing to an overpair or someone who has a king. And there's a lot of times when the person who's c-betting doesn't have that. So I like the
Fair.
check raise from him. I don't know that it's. I think when used not, sporadically, it's going to be effective sometimes, and sometimes you're just going to get called, and then have to reassess on the turn, but
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we seen on go for the check raise? His opponent just has top, makes the call. He bombs it again. They call, and he's like all in on the river, and they call off. And like
right,
on
you
his
have to
back.
reassess.
Like we've seen this.
That's the thing. You also have to reassess when you get called. Is if you're on there. Like I like the move. I think that it's gonna work a lot of the time. In this same vein that the C betting works a lot of the time. Not necessarily on a king high board. That's not typically where
Yeah,
you
I mean,
want to implement that strategy,
don't like it, but when it works, it's like, all right, like that's power poker.
but at the same time, if you are able to reassess and not just throw all your chips away when you don't improve, when you get called and don't
sure.
improve, then I think it's.
I think it's a hand class issue for me. We'll get these cards scanned in and take a look and see who's working with what in a moment, but it's more of a hand class issue for me. Pocket tens is just a little too good to check raise because check raising there should either be for value or as a bluff.
Yeah.
And like tens is solidly in the middle where it's like beating a bunch of your opponent's bluffs, but like way behind all of their value. So like check raising it just doesn't accomplish much. Now, if he had something like 4-3, right, where he's got like bottom pair and like maybe a backdoor like runner straight, like not much, like check raising there, like you want folds and you're like you're bluffing. You may have the best hand against an ace queen or something, but like you're bluffing, you know it. And if they re-raise or stick around, then the reevaluation is simple. But imagine that your opponent calls. The reevaluation with tens is like, I don't know. They can have ace nine still. Like pocket jacks, another bet could get them to fold.
Yeah.
But you just don't know. Tens
Sure.
is just an awkward hand to do it with. Whereas something like a bottom pair makes a lot more sense.
All right, On has turned a boat on top. What do we have on the bottom? Diamond flush. No one has it. I think I'm just going to take this. No, Zach's still in there.
Yeah, he's got a full house of his own on top. And
It is inferior.
ace high on bottom is no good. So sevens and fives on bottom and sevens full on top. Zach is going to get scooped here. Let's see if he pays off this last bet. He's literally playing ace high on bottom. That is not
Tough.
great.
No, he's got a 10. Actually, it's a chop.
Oh.
Tens and
Oh,
fives.
you're right.
Tens
He's
and
got
fives
a
with an
10.
ace.
I was fixated on his 10 on top. He does have the 10 on bottom.
Yeah, I think he can. I mean, you still don't feel good about it.
Having the 7 of diamonds is good for him.
Yeah, he flopped the boat on top, and it checked through. Which is, it's just a tough spot for him to be in because he's first to act. But, you don't want to bet everybody out of the hand on the flop when you've got, not the nuts, but a very strong hand on top.
Yeah. I think Zach with the 10, if he didn't have the 10 where I sort of thought he was, I think it's a clear fold. With the 10.
No, if he's playing ace high on the bottom, I think it's a fold.
But yeah, with the 10, I think he can call. Yeah, he's going to make it. Yep. And he will win the bottom, which is not what he thought. He's like, oh, God, what do you have on bottom? And, oh, just a pair of sevens?
And he's like,
yeah.
10. 10 is good.
The get out of jail free 10 coming on in.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Sweat that one.
Chop it up. As Zach actually gets the extra 25 there, so fatty profit.
But what I'm kind of getting at there is that, if he bets that on the flop, then I don't think On sticks around with his pocket sevens and no like meaningful
No, he
draws.
doesn't have anything.
But it sucks to be in that spot and feel like, oh, I'm first to act. It's a bomb pot. Everybody's in here. I have one board that I'm I mean, I don't necessarily have locked up, but I'm losing to pocket tens and pocket tens exactly, and that's the only thing, because I'm blocking the quads, and I would like everyone else to get out of there. If they
Well,
don't
no
have
one
it.
can have pocket tens because there's a 10 on top and on bottom, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So you have the nuts, actually.
Yeah, so I think betting there is preferred.
Yeah, I forgot that there was a 10 on the bottom.
And mostly because, like, if it's 10-10-3 and you have 10-3, like, and then some other danglers, like, you can always improve
Right.
to a significantly better hand that's going to still be the nuts, right? Like, say it's like an 8 peels and you have 10-3, 10-3, 8, right? Like, now you have the even better nuts. But when you have 3-3-10, your danglers are not really doing much for you because you improve to like threes full of kings
Yeah,
now. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, it's really not
There's
that much.
fewer cards that are going to improve your hand first and foremost, and then on top of that, the improvement is pretty meaningless.
And could go like cooler status where someone has pocket kings,
Right.
and turns the bigger
Or pocket
boat.
sevens
Yeah,
even,
exactly.
which is how that somehow happened because.
Yeah. But having the 10 on bottom, like, I can understand the check, like, as a trap, like, allowing someone else to do the betting for you because, like, you do have the nuts. You know you have the nuts.
Yeah, I think a small bet on the flop. I like just to build the pot. You mean you flop the nuts, like bet 50 into what 225. Get some people to throw a couple extra bucks in there, chasing draws that aren't going to get there,
And do push out the pocket sevens of the world. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah, PLO bomb pots, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's like some geeks out there somewhere throwing these things into solvers and trying to figure out like how you should play different draws on different boards and like what happens if you do flop bottom coat, like what are the actual best plays? Like, I mean, that would be valuable information to like chug through a solver.
I mean, it's just so complicated when you think about like.
Yeah, put all the hands in there.
God.
And give them all the hands. Like, their range is everything in 9 spots, 2 boards.
Yeah.
No, like, the computing power is stupid.
Yeah.
To try to chug
Which
through
is
that.
kind of what's so brilliant about it.
Yeah, is that we just have to figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
And, like, the people that have learned how to navigate these, like,
and
right,
it's
we
so,
play with them in the 2-5 streets that know
situational.
how to do this pretty well, right? And
Yeah,
other
I've
people,
seen
you
some
know they
people
don't know how.
who really play the bomb pots well are never in there with, like, I've seen a lot of people who are like, I'm only playing to scoop. And then I see other people who are super aggressive without scooping hands on both. And it's like they're still managing to either get folds out of everybody or managing to, like...
My favorite is when they get someone to fold the, what did Slicer just win with?
I think he
8?
had pocket eights. I think it was a misread.
Okay. When you're in like a weird 3-way situation, and you know that if you can just push out the last person, like you'll get half the pot. But if you only call, then you're the one that's gonna get chopped up. And like recognizing that spot and like, oh, you bet like half pot or whatever. Like you have a good hand, but you want to get paid probably on half. So now I just need to push the other guy out because I've got enough on both. But like,
Right.
I'll win the other half.
Yeah, and it's like the strategy changes so dramatically heads up versus multi-way when you're playing a split pot game. And, it's very interesting, and a lot of people are kind of anti-bomb pots, or I don't know if they're afraid of them or they're, which afraid of
I think
them
most people
I
are
get.
just bad at them. Like they're complicated, they're hard.
But I think a lot of people just are like, oh, it's just bingo, you know. Everybody just gets to see 2 flops, and like you just flop the nuts, but there's so much more nuance than that, and I think people don't give enough credit to that, and don't feel inclined to try and wrap their brains around what the hell is going on.
Yep. We're gonna gamble, and I'm just gonna go first because you stole my roll last time, and I'm gonna hope that it benefits me this time.
I hope you were like,
Yeah, I probably will. But I'm gonna exercise some positive thinking here.
okay.
Both Magician and On are playing the same hand, King 10. Offsuit. First one to bet wins, and that will be. No, I take it all back. On
24. Yeah.
calling.
Let's go.
It had a 4 in it. The 20 up front is not very inspiring, but I believe you can get a 16, maybe a 17. King on the river. Both players going to pick up top pair.
Somebody stole my roll though.
Oh, good lord, Donnie, don't you do it to me.
Yeah, what they do in the third is unbelievable.
Oh god, if it's a 16. 52.
It wouldn't have mattered.
It did? Well,
Well, Donnie didn't get a roll.
yeah, I know. So you would have
must have
gotten the
rolled
81.
early.
All right, you get my 20 no matter what.
Yeah, that's plus $20.
Take your blood money.
Yeah.
I took enough of your blood money on the PLO flip.
I did manage to win the last one, which was the only multi-way one.
I know, you got what, 5 people in? that one, and then
Yeah.
you shipped it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just cheating. Bald face.
Yeah, because heads up, me versus you, I lost like all of
Well,
them.
I was cheating and got away with it, and then you had to bring all those other schmucks in.
That makes sense now, though. Makes a lot more sense. They did get to showdown here, I guess.
Yeah, so bet a 310, check bet and call on the end there. Magician going for the check call
All right,
on turn
all right.
and river.
That's unreal. Same hand, same thing.
Floating with the king 10 on the turn there too. Just king 10 high.
4 straddles for 20.
On floating with it? Yeah.
No, on did the betting. No,
Oh,
magician
okay,
check
that
called
makes
with
sense.
king 10, and they both hit the top
Interesting.
turn. It was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I could float flop there with that, but I think turn I probably. Cool.
No, king high,
worked
good
out.
sometimes, but not particularly inspiring. All right, Matt is in the mix and raising it up his first hand back after getting punted out of the 3 seat. Magician, though, is like, the guy that tried to take my spot. I'll play you out of position with king 8 off. So heads up,
Yeah,
Luca.
really small raise though. Oh, I guess not really because there was no straddle on. Was there no straddle? I guess so.
Okay.
No straddle.
Okay, never mind. Large raise, in fact.
And the defense really, like Boston just can't even
Ace
get close
high,
to
2
the
diamonds. Matt here with a gutty to Broadway. We'll be c-betting this at a high frequency and just take it down.
Yeah, that is going to be an easy bet and win, and he had by far the best hand.
Ragnar would like to see cumulative winnings.
We can do that.
Your ask is my command or something. John here up at the top of the leaderboard, sitting on 60K plus. Up a fatty, almost a dime here.
Yeah, he has given a couple bucks back to the poker community of Austin, Texas, and we appreciate him for that. However, he
Slicer there,
is,
down.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to point out that Slicer is still stuck after taking that initial cooler against John to start off.
Yeah,
the
looks like,
screen.
did he get it coolered again?
No, it was just that one. I mean, he lost like the full 7.5, and then rebought for 10, and
Just hasn't.
no, I don't know. We could look. we could look
6.7
at-
seems, yeah, let's look at the little line graph.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely did have some weirdness on that hand, the big one that he ended up playing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he won a decent one and then lost. It's pretty stagnant, though, since then.
But again, this could be a little bit off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One way or another, has not quite come back from the cooler at the beginning.
All right, Ace, Jack 7, rainbow flop here. Heads up between JL and Zach. Zach with the 9s is still best.
I mean, 9's with the nuts here, right?
Yeah, and it still is. So JL gonna continue as he was the pre-flop raiser.
However, a 9 is very bad for Zach.
Look at that, man.
Right, you are. Does make the call with the 9s. King of hearts here.
Tons
So
of
now
equity.
heart, flush draw, and a gutter. Double gutty now for JL. Definitely a spot to continue, and a size up is appropriate. I'd even see an overbet here from JL. He goes for the check line. Interesting play. Zach here, very little incentive to bet. Yeah, he's just going to check back, and JL will get to realize his equity with a queen of clubs on the end, giving him Broadway, but I mean, I guess it's pot control or something. I don't understand the check. That's like the nut turn to continue bluffing.
Yeah, agreed. But
He goes for the check. Now he's going to bet when he makes Broadway, but pot is small, and he's going to bet full pot. And yeah, his opponent could probably just fold everything. I mean, I don't know. Interesting line there. Curious.
This poker platform is money for cannabis. Real cannabis.
Yeah, but no,
Got some chatter here
Matt,
on what I guess is the basketball game. Must be.
yeah, Gary C have one, and I have one thing in common, and that is that we both are Celtics fans.
Okay.
I didn't know
You don't even
that.
respond to Matt, you just respond to Slicer.
Oh, sorry. I thought
No, no, you're fine, you're fine. No, LIV is wild.
Yeah.
you had something you wanted.
I have yet to disagree with anything I've read
Fuck off.
that Gary C has put in the chat yet.
Fuck yourself.
So that's
Are you
fucking
feeling?
Nothing is worth
Are
it.
you on?
he's only typed things in that are related to the Celtics game. So
I was talking about how much
We're on the
Dustin
same
Johnson
page.
made relative to his career earnings.
Excellent.
Oh, is it?
Like, he almost doubled his career earnings in the PGA
All
Tour.
right. Matt, you're going to raise this up on the $20 straddle with a couple of eights.
And there's no cuts.
16 to
Always
go.
make money,
Ace
too.
10 is out of there.
who was that? Who was that one?
Oh, did he sign 4? Oh, I didn't know
John?
that.
John might just be,
also a team event involved, too,
content
so
with
whatever
how
team
many
you're on, you
chips
make
he's got in front of him and not really trying to
And the tournaments are bigger prize
get
pools
too
than
spicy.
any other tournament ever. It's the biggest golf tournament of all time.
Uh-oh.
5 deuce
Money wise.
rainbow flop here.
And that's probably small on the actual tour.
So crazy. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Checky here on
Where
the
was that
flop.
tournament playing? Are they playing in like Saudi Arabia?
No, no,
And
most
here
of them are
with a
here.
couple of eights.
Most of them are here. I think
JL
their
gonna check
trump
it
courses
once
are half of them are
more.
trump courses.
And yeah,
the
Matt's
other
just
half
going
of
to go for a
The
little
four together
bet
at
here.
Little baby bet.
Four of 8 are
Jack
US,
high
4 of 8 are international.
is second nut no pair. There's a world within which you could call here queen 10 and stuff like that is going to stab, but that would have stabbed the flop, so generally speaking, you
I don't think that was
probably
an intentional show of his pocket eights. I think I got accidentally flipped, but it did. The table did get to see. And JL is probably saying, oh, okay. He had a pair.
Well,
Cool.
better than me.
Suspend them? Did they do that to him?
Yeah.
Small blinds here, big blind here.
They're making more and playing more tournaments
All
than
right.
their whole career.
Sounds like maybe some technical difficulties are going to
Everyone
come
gets dumped in. That's
relatively near
T-minus 10 to
future,
15
but
minutes.
we can just wait to see how bad it is.
They're making more money being free agents, obviously, right? That's the point, right? They're making more money being free agents, right?
All right, 5, 10, and 20.
Obviously, he makes more than that with endorsements and all that kind of stuff. But the LIV paid him $125 million. So, like, how do you ever say no?
Zach electing not to put the 40 on this time. He's put it on
Time, please. I didn't know it was that.
a couple of times. Looks like maybe he's going to regret that one.
She said I'm not.
Okay, we have some momentary difficulties in this hand as well, so just going to get caught up here.
In the meantime, let's show you some things.
Let's look at the things. Show us the things, Caroline.
There's a little V-pip
Under the
on, out in front, slicer bringing up the rear, but everybody well above the Lottie line. So no problems there. Everybody playing their hands at a reasonable frequency. Zach's gonna make it 75 with ace 3 of
I
diamonds.
know that's a blow.
Let's see.
I know you're raising me.
It's gonna go a gazillion ways, no, 4 ways, but still a lot for the hands that are here.
Two-tone flop here, 10 high. JL makes middle pair. Magician makes bottom pair.
Nobody electing to bet at it. John now has best, yeah.
Yeah, top tire.
But JL does have a pair and a flush draw, so That is going to feel pretty good.
2 bets, 275.
So I'm going to bet large here, 275 into 330. But yeah, I think JL here with a mandatory check call. Pair and a flush draw, as he said. Zach, of course, will not be long for the world, waiting for his opportunity to fold. Heads up to a river, 6, 7, club. None of the above.
6 checks.
John here with the best hand, bets 1/3 pot. And JL doesn't block spades, doesn't have an 8 or a 9, so there's some bluffs out there that he can beat, but ooh, your hand is a pretty speculative bluff catcher at this point, especially for a small sizing.
Yeah.
You'd think busted spades would be like, get out of my pot, bro, I'm coming at you with the full pot or
He
something.
does make the call, though.
Yeah.
Sees the bad news. John says, yeah, I had a queen.
Gotta keep in mind.
C5 can both start there.
Fine.
We've all been in that spot before too, where like your mind just like visualizes all the bluffs. You're like 8-9, Jack 9, Jack 8. You know, you're just like trying to find all these like weird combinations of things that you can beat just because like you want to. And then you call and they show you the top pair, and you're like, oh, of course you just had
You're like, yeah, that's
what else do you have?
Yeah, and I mean, I've also been in John's spot where I'm like, yeah, I have a queen. Like, I don't know where you're calling with, but I think a queen's good,
Tell me
right?
the money.
Like, I guess you could have a better queen or 2 pair or something weird, but I feel like I would have known that by now.
All right, Matt's gonna put the biddy on.
Okay, let's
Play
go.
$50 line.
Slicer gonna let go of the 8-6 suited. Knit.
Clearly didn't see how Zach got all
Yeah,
the
that's what
chips
I was
in
thinking.
on the flop with the last one.
God. 8-6 suited is very good.
Would have been dominated by Jaywin's clubs though, so you know, maybe dodging.
Yeah, but what are
some
the
balls.
chances that J1 has a combo draw? Probably just has a one-way draw.
8-6 of clubs would have flopped nothing. You know, 3 to a straight flush.
Yeah, that's good enough.
That's not bad. Matt here does outflop Jaywin.
75.
Check, bet, and call. Jaywin here looking for a 10. An ace also good for him. 3 pair now for Max. But 2 pair with a superior kicker for
Yeah,
Jaywin.
3 pair, not good. He definitely did not want an ace there. 7, good. Ace.
Yeah, checky on the turn,
Ace
and Matt
10
now
will take
should go
down.
for thin value.
Matt? He's losing.
Yeah, but he's gonna check, and check is also fine.
Yeah, I think check
Wow.
is very much.
Wow, Jaywin not going for value there on the end though. Really worried about a check raise. And I don't know.
I
think both
definitely
players
think
could've
Jaywin should have bet there without a doubt. But Matt's hand, you know, felt pretty good on the flop. And then just got so much worse on the turn. And
I mean, it
think
did, but when it checks back on the turn, I mean, obviously you block all of the things. Your opponent just needs to have like pocket eights or something, you know, for you to ever have any shot of getting some value. But I do think that you can go for value against those hands. When your opponent doesn't bet the ace, it's like, yeah, maybe they just have what they have, and you don't want to put any chips in there, but you're going to call a river bet, right, with ace-7? So just block. Like block to
Maybe.
get value from the pocket 8s and the pocket 10s or whatever that bet
yeah,
flop
you would
check
have lost
turn.
more then.
Well, of course, but like we're talking
No, we're talking
strategy
results.
here.
We're talking result-oriented play.
Sorry, I didn't get the memo.
Where Matt would have lost significantly more money had he block bet there.
Oh man, a significant block bet amount? Yeah. 1/5 the pot? That was a bank breaker. No, it's always fun to nitpick these spots though, and we very often have like a very like nuanced and different approach to how we would do things. I always enjoy it. But
Yeah.
Also, you're
I
wrong. You're wrong.
no, I hate Matt's hand there, and I check it back.
Ooh, he checked first, but
Or I check it. I check there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably calling a river bet,
of course you are.
but I feel like my hand is basically just a bluff. It's just bad.
I did have fair draws against you.
So,
Uh,
at Jay Wynn's hand though, I'm betting for value, and Matt's calling, and it's like that's a great spot. Your kicker is playing; it's good enough to bet for value.
Yeah, no, I agree. Big chunky squeeze here from JL, and he's going to take this one down with 10 high. It is always weird when you face this like really large raise in position. Like Jaywin there, you could tell he's like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? But like, if you do anything besides re-raise them, like you're just going to play a really big bloated pot out of position with a pretty
Yeah.
marginal hand. But when someone does make it really big and it's sort of out of character, sometimes it's fun to just click on things and be like, you probably just want me to fold. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens when I min-click 4 or
It's-
5 bet you back.
I actually think it's kind of a coin flip though, because I see a lot of people who are like
Well, they bottle it here at least.
have like they want you to fold, but not because they don't have a good hand. Like sometimes it's like aces and kings are like, no, I don't want to see a flop because I don't want you to run out and like
Yeah, you've been playing 1-2
win.
too much.
Yeah, I guess so. I've seen a lot in tournaments lately though. Yeah. So I think it's just like a specific player profile that's like, no. I just want to take down these blinds. Let's just like move on to the next hand. I don't want to get any value. They don't win tournaments, but they play them.
Yeah, no,
A
no, I
lot.
know the type. I know the type well. They 10x it with aces, and then everyone folds, and they turn it over confidently, and yeah, say
They're like,
something.
yeah.
At least I didn't get him cracked like last time.
Like, you
know?
also didn't get any chips, dude. So
Yeah, but that's
good on you.
It's like those players.
Or they do it with like ace king or jacks or whatever, and it's like you do realize you're only getting called by better there. Like you're like someone's just gonna have aces there and is going to snap you off. It's
Yeah.
not.
Those players though, they live to like suck out because like they're only willing to put chips in when they have like a garbage hand, and then when they do have the big hands, they're like, I don't want to lose. Like their main priority is to not lose with the big hand. I got aces, I got kings. I don't want to see an ace high flop, so 15x3, everybody folds. Well, I didn't want to see an ace on the flop. There's ace magnets or blah, 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 right? Like, they've got a very stereotypical sort of like inclination to not lose with the big hand. And then that dictates how they play the hand.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I definitely agree. But like you said, like a lot of times people don't want to call, and I think when people do that, I definitely respect when people do that with more marginal hands, so much more than I do.
We've got an all-in and a call here.
What is going on?
Magician all-in with the best hand gets called and outdrawn. 2 pair
How
for
did that
on the
happen?
turn. No, it kind of happened all of a sudden on the flop there. It was a check, big bet, check, raise all in, and a call off from on. And Magician has just gotten stacked for the second time here. This one in pretty brutal fashion. The first time was top pair. It was Jack 10 actually against on. And here it was again. On the last one had
Yeah, I've
bottom
seen
set of 3s this
Magician
time.
play Jack 10. I mean,
Jack 10 loses, pocket 9 wins. That's the theme of the evening.
well, I just think he plays it. He's maybe over confident with it because that was the same thing before.
Well, here he was ahead at least. Like, let's give the man some credit that he got it in ahead, and this time.
I don't know. I would have had PTSD from the last time when I had Jack 10 and I thought I was good and I was way wrong. Drawing dead on the turn. But what do I know? Magician does not like on tonight. No, I don't think he does. And he seems to have vacated the table. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this time he is not coming back. But I could be wrong. I mean, I was surprised he went back to the same seat. Why would he go to that seat instead of Jazz's seat?
Jazz was still in when he came back.
Hold it. Hold on.
Oh, never mind.
He came back, and then Jazz was like, "Oh wait, Matt wants to play."
Okay, Gary.
and
See,
got him.
I'm gonna give you credit for this. The magician made his chips go poof. It's magic.
Yeah, that was a unfortunate last hand there for the captain, Mr.
C7 made
Oops,
175.
didn't need to show that in the middle of the hand. But
Everybody needed some B pips in there.
yeah. B pips. There you go.
I mean, look at these hands. It's not like anything else is going on in here.
True story.
A bunch of garbage hitting the muck. We do have a raise from someone in here. As we may have reached the point of the weird technical difficulties that we had. Unclear, as there are too many hands on here. On has red
But
nine.
probably.
Probably. On though with 2 red nines and the nuts. Must be the pre-flop raiser. And yeah, so Padawan producer Kristen was grumbling over there on the other side of the wall about every time she hit raise, it would somehow fold the hand, and I can see that happening. She was trying to register the raise from on, and instead it's folding his hand. So it's a little bit of a quirk in the software. It's those stupid backup squirrels.
Does it came up as small blind, big blind, and third one? It doesn't have the board.
I thought that the purpose of the table was to get rid of action.
The software is no good. The old software, I thought was better.
In any case, trying to get this sorted out.
Something new. You gotta extend the grace and let it work it out, right? You gotta go through the
Every time, yeah, to register on as a raise, it just
pros and
yeah,
cons. Pros and cons.
interesting.
All kinds.
But we'll get this sorted out at some point. Continue along, as I don't suspect anybody even has anything worthy of continuing. I guess there's queen jack off in this one.
Innovation.
It has a lot of statistics, you know, like
This is what I do. I honor what they're doing. I have to because what I do. Organization.
Derek coming over?
They're trying something new. They're trying to grow. It's tough. It's tough. No doubt about it. It's tough.
Thin.
We got some Eric dollars to the table.
Okay, well, we've got on calling 50 somehow.
Yeah, it
Try
looks
to
like
continue.
somehow we are ending up with On and J-Win. They're the only ones with cards. So.
Yeah. They're just going to mark it down as because you don't find a call and a check just so that we can get to the flop. So the pot will not be correct, but for whatever reason, the call was the only way to get that through the software. J-Win going to whiff this board pretty hard, does have a couple of backdoors and not much else. On will check it back though, and the backdoor diamond starts to come in here for J-Win. Checky once again, and River another 7, nothing happening. Jack high here. J-Win not going to go barking up that tree though. He's like, nah, dude, whatever you got is better than this, and you're going to call me anyway. So.
Almost backdoor yet.
Nines is the
On this table.
story.
Put the 3 of diamonds out there. If I can bet large.
Didn't we just recently see nines lose? No.
Say.
I think it's so.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
We got time. Go get more chips.
What name do you want up there? What name do you want?
Taking a look back.
Loving,
Yeah.
McLovin.
Fine, folks. Hanging out with us here still this evening.
McLovin
Thank
or
you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, do help us out.
Loving.
Consider hitting that like button. Make sure you are subscribed.
Can't do that, you know that.
Tune in each and every Monday and Thursday night. 6, 8, 5 here on I'm your host Aaron Max Boyster. It's been good hanging out with me here tonight, along with all of y'all. Good to be here.
What's up, everybody?
This thing for you forever.
I'll see what I have here.
Ragnar over saying that this is on big night. Keep in mind, I've got stacked early. So it looks, he's got a lot of chips in front of him, but
Short stack.
let's see
Yeah, it's just that. Same thing. It's just here. I think this is the main thing, but it goes back there too.
He's up. He's up almost 4K, so that's
You see your
good.
name over there? Whenever you see 2 cards, you're good. Oh. You see how everybody
Oh,
has
we got Eric in the mix.
1 second.
Yeah.
He's coming in as doesn't matter.
Oh, I thought it was just doesn't mat, like it's not mat. Doesn't mat.
Ragnar, yes, that is all the other names. But here he's not wearing a mask. I'm going to call him probably Eric. Just
Doesn't mat.
because the alternative is apparently doesn't match. So we don't even know what it says.
Oh, we're getting a little taste of the E for a second there.
I think we should just put him in the system as Action. Like, don't put his name in there. His name is Action. We call him Action normally, but like Action. That's it.
Yeah, well, doesn't mat E, doesn't mat her. It is going to flop trips, and oh, Andrew has top vote. A lot of chips are going to go in, and Eric's first hand is going to be a nightmare.
Ouch.
JL here with a couple of 5s. Yeah, he's going to let these go as you do.
I wish that somehow this would have gotten to a turn and it would be the 5 of something, and then Jack on the river, and everyone loses all their chips.
Eric here going to
Max
make the
Payne.
call.
Of course you do. Of course.
Well, yeah. 10 of spades. Doesn't matter. Checks, and Andrew checks behind. 6 of clubs here on the end. Andrew gonna try to give Matt, doesn't Matt, I mean, a chance to catch the diamond flush, or perhaps put a wager in. Does put a wager in, and a chunky one at that. 705 in the middle, over bets to 800. And now Andrew will tank out and go all in.
Oh my God.
Doesn't Matt will go all in as well. And
Yeah, it says Andrew's sitting. Oh, I guess that's about right. 6K. 6.2. I don't think he's gonna jam, but he's still gonna raise.
oh, Eric is on.
Oh, Eric came in. Okay, Eric short, but okay. Sorry. Are you getting this?
Yep.
Thank you.
C3 calls all in.
Whack-a-mole. All right, Andrew does go all in. Doesn't Matt calls. That's all she wrote. And very first hand, Eric gets stacked. Flopping bottom trips. Ugh. Gross spot.
Yeah.
Honestly, just kind of good for doesn't Matt to come in short.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I am definitely, like, there are days where I'm like, I'm definitely losing this first buy. I'm going to just mid-buy. Let's go.
Yeah, 300 here we go. All right.
Yep. And it's like, I got no problem starting in a $300 hold. That's fine. I'm just going to commit to, like, this $300 is probably not going to be more than this ever. Let's get it over with quick.
Eric gonna go ahead and reload for another 2K.
Yeah.
That's pretty even.
We'll make sure.
I just had a
Thank God.
pretty good set.
I guess he's gonna 15 and then 500 change.
Not ace
He
queen.
said, I'm not really feeling good about this yet. Let's just nothing wrong with that.
No, I would say, like, I know it's not ace queen. I'm pretty sure you're queen. So that one. Yeah, to feel good to flop a full house.
You should just not look at your first hand.
Yeah, that's probably right? Because then you guarantee you won't.
Yeah, doesn't matter buying in for 1.6K to start thinking
I mean,
about
to be
it.
fair, he was playing Jack 4. So, like, maybe don't do that.
He was in the straddle.
What was the raise?
Single raise. Queens in early
Jack 4
position.
suited?
Jack 4 suited.
Oh, okay.
Queen 4 flop. You're just toast.
C5.
We're all calling there. We're all getting wrecked.
He is actually, should consider himself very lucky for not having more chips in play.
Yeah, I agree.
That's running good, frankly.
C9 raised to 275.
Favor for a favor. I'm not playing poker until the first buy.
And that's sometimes how it is. It's just like, you know what? I'm not going to think too hard about anything because I know somehow I'm going to put in all the effort and just get coolered. And I'd rather just, you know, just give somebody my first line and move the fuck on.
All right, we have a raise, re-raise, re-raise all in line here on opening the 9-6 suited. Matt giving him the business with the king jack and slicer on the suited wheel ace. And he shows the 4 of hearts. Everyone knows what the other
Yeah.
card is.
Why, guys? Why are you showing us the 4 of hearts there? We know you have ace 4 of hearts.
Yeah,
There's
but it's,
no other hand you have. Literally no other hand on the face of the planet that you have there.
it's the psychological
It's-
effect of
but it's
showing him the
not.
trash card. Oh, of course. Everybody does it. It's fun.
I know everyone does it. That's why I think it's silly. It's like you all do it. It is so dumb.
Canada, all the players in Canada, it's like
Congrats, you didn't have aces. You still had ace high, and that was good.
slowly convincing them. They're,
And if somehow, for whatever really weird reason, you had 4s, that was also good. So, cool.
5-4 suited, though. 4-3 suited.
4-3 suited, 5-4 suited. If that was the hand that they had, if they had 4-3 suited, they're obviously showing the 3 though. So it's 5-4 suited and 5-4 suited.
Yeah, but then that's where you flip the 3 over on top of your other card and then pitch the 4 face up and flip the other one so that, you know, you see one at a time. So it's like, oh, wait, what just happened?
Oh, I can't comprehend.
Yeah.
I can't remember that other card from a second and a half ago. What the hell was it?
I love doing that, though, in tournaments especially, because, like, people aren't usually paying that much of attention, so you do show one to the
Yeah, the
opponent
person
that you
who
wanted to
folded
see.
last is probably the person paying attention, and everybody else is like, huh?
Yeah. It's a good one. Good one. All right, 9-5 Trey, rainbow flop here. We got a couple of players in the mix here, both with overs, both with hearts. Checky, checky. That's up to a river. It's another heart. 8 of hearts, one time. Would be gross.
You're wishing some very terrible things on these players.
I mean, it's right there in front of us. We can all
I mean,
see
I
it.
know, but it's just-
Bet of 400 here from Andrew. A little under 2/3. Zach here actually has a hand that he could raise, but the equity is significant enough to just make the call. So yeah, that's gonna make more sense. Plus, a bunch of the hands that can bet this turn are not gonna fold as well.
Oh, he really tried to fucking hammer that home. He wanted
All right. Zach makes the call. We're frozen in time as the dealer stares straight ahead. T1 pals.
Yeah, I think he's got like 5 or 6 points.
All right, here we go. To a river. Not the 8 of hearts, not any heart, in fact. It is a 6 of diamonds. And a one-liner to a straight out there. Andrew must be thinking that his hand is not good, but he's gonna check, and now Zach with just jack high. Oh, is it back?
Yeah. Does it ever really go away?
No. Just sort of stuck with it.
How are there so many different sites?
Oh no, it's all
Well,
the
look,
same.
naked HD /XYZ, naked HD /-dot fun.
Yeah. It's all the same.
Well, I realize it's all the same.
Way to
but
pump them up too. You just read it off.
I
mean,
know.
you
What
just,
was I
like,
doing?
Just drove
God.
infinite more traffic to that trash site. Andrew is going to fold the best hand. Zach will win with the jack high, and oh, he's going to show it. There it is. Oh.
And he's like, yeah, king high. I can't. What am I supposed to do?
He's like heart one time. Yeah, that would have been.
That's
good.
always one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, what, like, I mean, cool, congratulations, but I also didn't have a hand, so.
yes. Ace, queen, heart.
Holy
Had
shit.
3 hands.
Queen, heart, AK.
Throw out a 3 of hearts.
Like, technically, yes, I had jack high beat, but like,
I'm in there, man. I'm in there. I'm trying to get better at this game.
All right, hand number 63 coming at you. On here first to act.
yeah, my
facing
chat
the
is
$20.
stuck in a time warp, so.
So you want me to whack them
Yes,
all?
please. Thank you.
Oh wait.
Can everyone hear that chair speaking?
That was you farting.
Sounds like
Try to
farts.
just
Sorry,
pass
guys.
that off. Jay went here, ace 10.
I just wanted to point it out to everybody. So it sounds like farts. It might be farts.
Find
Moving
out. Oh.
right along.
My interest in hobby.
All right, Andrew will make the call on the big blind. Heads up to a flop. Jay win with the lead. Oh, a 9 high.
do
Ace
it?
high still best. I did, but it's like locked up or something. In fact, I think you actually accomplished it because when I clicked it, it
No, it wouldn't even
wanted-
let me. It wouldn't even show it to me on mine.
oh.
So it wasn't me.
7 straddles for 20.
My chat is stuck in a time warp from like hours ago because I haven't opened it up on the phone.
8 straddles for 40.
Well, I managed to hide it, so that's good.
Okay, that'll work. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. The 20 and the 40 are on.
Seat 9 folds. Seat 1 folds. Seat 2 folds. Seat
Haven't
3
folded this
raises
much
to
since the 80s.
125. Seat 4
He's locking up a win. Locking it up, man.
Yeah. No, John's like.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to raise it up to 95 out of the cutoff.
Good conversation.
And Andrew here going to wake up with a couple of cowboys.
Oh yeah, Slicer's a fan of ancient history.
Seat 5 raised to 525.
Sunglasses go
No,
on.
I know we've had.
Raised to 5 1/4 out
Show
there.
it.
Yeah.
And the problem for Eric here is
It's one thing
that
inviting the 2 oldest people at the table, but
10-9, while it is a good hand and a fun one to play,
God, I was like, all
even in 3-bet pots, his remaining stack is such that, yeah, SPR is just barely over 1, and if he doesn't connect with this board in any meaningful way, then a significant chunk
5 checks.
of chips has just evaporated into the ether. This being one of the boards that Eric did not want to see. Andrew will check it over to him, though, give him an opportunity to blast it in. Eric will oblige.
Good luck doesn't matter.
And yeah, pocket kings here. What do you do when your opponent overbet jams this ace high flop?
There's so many good puns.
Buckle the seatbelt, make the call, or just let it go. A little head shake there from Andrew. Clearly doesn't love the fact that this is an ace high board. Doesn't matter. It's like, oh, cool. Well, at least you didn't snap, and now that you're in the tank, maybe you a hand like kings or queens.
Yeah. Oh, we don't know what that means.
Oh, no, man.
Does make the call here. Doesn't matter. Going to need to find running cards to get bailed out of this one. That is one of them. Needs a club now. And a club only. Deuce of hearts here on the end. Run it once. A couple of kings for Andrew is best. Doesn't matter with a glimmer of hope on the turn. Did not complete.
Players, checks on screen, please.
Ragnar here, going to be honest, I'm folding here every time. I think a lot of people are, and it's a bit of a toss-up. Like, the check is the thing that sort of does it all, right? It's like, as soon as you check, you give your opponent the opportunity to bluff. Whereas if you would bet, even 1/5 pot, like 10-9 of clubs is just going straight into the mud. So by checking, you're giving your opponent that opportunity to bluff everything that isn't an ace. So you shouldn't always be folding. But yeah, it's a tough spot, that's for sure. I mean, you never love to see the ace high board with kings. You just never do. But Andrew does find the correct call there. He takes it down.
2,000 back, seat 3, seat 1 folds.
All right, 20 and 40 on. Raised to 200 now
2,000
from
for seat
John.
3. Seat 2 raised to 200. Seat 3
Jay
fold.
Wynn
Seat
make
4
the call.
calls 200. 5 and 6 fold.
Jay Wynn just calling
8 and 9
the
fold.
pocket Jay Wins. His namesake. How are you just going to call there? You're going to invite on into the pot with pocket queens. Just going to call.
Like, I mean, on was obviously not going to be in there. And then just flops
Seat
the
7
nuts.
checks.
And
Seat
checks
2
it.
checks. Seat 4.
Wow. Yeah, we've already got a queen 9 tray
What is
flop
going
here.
on?
Check, check, check. Eight of clubs now on the turn gives John a pair. On will continue checking his top set. John will bet
Oh, money on the
2/3.
game. So I was about to why you No, I
And
don't.
Jay Wynn, who has played
thought you
this
said
one
you have
very
money on.
slow, and somehow this pot is minuscule, given the fact that there are queens versus jacks in this pot.
Did anyone bet this game at this table?
Jay Wynn's going to make the call.
Took it at
I think on with a rainbow full Badoogie board out here. Yeah, he's just going to call as well.
Seat 7 calls.
All right.
Looking for a dynamic river, right? He'd love to see another 8 or 9 or something. It's a king. Now he loses to the same 10 jack and not much else.
Seat 7
And he's just going to come blasting here.
Seat 2
Straight in for a little over half pot donk lead here on the river.
Yeah, don't love that. But, I mean, I don't know that anybody's betting that anyways, so.
No, they weren't. I also don't know how this gets called. Now, I mean, obviously we can see their cards, but the rest of the ranges may feel differently about this 1K donk lead, but Jay Wynn not ready to fold the Jay Wins just yet. Does have some serious blockers to the nuts as well. Could turn this hand into a bluff on one of the guys that you just don't love
Yeah,
to go
I think
for
we
it
had
against.
this conversation earlier. First of all, on is way too high up in his range to fold there to the bluff. I think on's just gonna go with the if you got it, you got it. If he did decide to turn it to bluff, and then on shows queens, and everybody's like, "What in the God's name happened?"
Yeah. And Jay Wynn is thinking, oh my God, thank God I didn't 3-bet that
Right?
free, because this would have gotten just stupider and stupider.
Ragnarok be giving you props for helping everyone all of our listeners improve by giving them alternative ways to play hands. So.
Well, certainly some alternatives.
Thanks for making everything harder for us. God. Telling people how to play better.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope somebody out there, like, gets something out of it. But I don't know. One thing that I've learned is that, you know, you can say all you want about poker and how you should do this, that, and the other thing. It is entirely different to implement it. And I think a lot of the viewers would probably even recognize it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, you see these spots, you watch these guys play.
What
you know,
just
these
happened there? Did John just fold pocket sevens?
Seat 7.
Okay. Misread. Did not have sevens.
Seat 8
I was going to say. That is,
unusual.
like, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
and
no.
John's not
That's 1-1.
like, John's not totally opposed to limping, too. So, like, at worst, I think limping pocket sevens
Sure.
would be the worst move.
Couple of queens, 1-4. JL has the best hand still.
Yeah, but Matt's got the diamond draw, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say not giving up just yet.
Yeah.
Draymond's
Too good to raise.
Jack 10, however, is no good at this table.
Yeah, hasn't been doing well, not performing well.
Which is, I think he's
Another check here from Matt.
like, what's the point of
JL here,
really good young guy?
I think should just check this back, try to get to showdown at this point.
Tourists earn the right to like just Just
Oh,
to
for
be,
sure.
Just to be trusted.
But
'Cause the third quarter
it's
stuff.
one of those things where when
Okay,
it works,
who's gonna
you're
do
a
that?
genius, but when it doesn't, you're wrong. You know?
King of
Unfortunately.
clubs.
It's just the
on
stuff,
the
the
river.
stuff he does in the third quarter.
That might be a
4 is
spade.
good. Oh, spade. Sorry. King of black. I don't know.
What it does is like, you know.
Check.
Check, check.
There we go.
Easy game.
4 is good. And John's like, man, why did I fold pocket sevens here? Just kidding. He didn't have that.
That is what he would be thinking.
I know.
All right, let's take another peek.
One straddles for 25.
Net earnings.
No.
John here, still hanging out up at the
Yeah.
top on, not too far behind. Andrew creeping on up the leaderboard as well. JL and Jay win, so a couple of Jays also in the green. Everybody else in the
Half of the people
Yeah.
John knows are coming.
Well, we've seen some big losses out of some of these winners tonight and some big wins out of some of these losers tonight. So in the long run, I don't know. It's hard to say. Gary C. letting me know that the Celtics are playing terribly and not down 20? That's cool.
Stimulate the local economy. Why are
All right, JL going to come in for a
They
raise.
are down 20. What are you talking about? They're down 22. No, they're not. They're down 12. Just kidding. 12. I can do that.
My numbers are
Wow.
numbers aren't cards.
Saw 3 for one team and a 5 for the other team, and I said, that's 20. It's 39-51, so that's not 20.
Maths are hard.
But that's a very low-scoring game, too.
JL opens cutoff on flats in between. Matt squeezes from the big blind, and King Jack of Hearts from JL just goes straight into the mud. A little bit of a conservative fold there. I don't hate it, but King Jack suited in that configuration is oftentimes a hand you're going to be willing to continue with, especially given
I
the fact that it
personally
springs
like
on in.
King Jack suited a lot, but I don't know why. I think I just got really lucky with it. It's not a like, not that I'm going to overplay it, but I probably would continue with it on the less conservative side. Like, I'm going to continue with it there probably, especially with on behind, because I don't think on's 3-betting or 4-betting. Sorry.
Wow. Well, let's take a look
Yeah, I
at this
don't know
really
what the
quick
hell's going
because
on here.
we're back in this mix where on just like raises on boards that don't belong to him, and this is one of those.
Yeah, it's not going to work this time.
Yeah, Matt here top on with a whole lot of nothing. He is literally drawing dead because I guess.
To running 9s.
Well, yeah, I mean running 9s would be a thing, but I'm guessing that 2 of the 9s have been folded or something.
Oh,
One of the 9s comes, but
9 checks.
no, because now he says he has 4%. So it just was saying that like he didn't have a single card that was going to give him a win.
oh, that's weird. It should have showed him with some equity. I don't know, but in any case, checky needs another 9, and it doesn't come.
Interesting. Yeah, and so like I said before, on's check raise is going to work there sometimes, and on picking up some showdown value on the turn, you know, when he gets called, he picks up some showdown value, he checks it back. He's not willing to commit more chips to this pot. I think is a better implementation of his strategy than we have seen previously, where he check raises and then just barrels off the next 2 streets when he doesn't really have a hand that can ever win.
Well, so he's in position.
Now
to
he's
be fair,
doing
but
something strange, though.
Yeah.
He's getting very spicy.
After check on the turn.
Matt is not the player you want to do this against.
Ooh, gonna chat him up as well.
Always. 1,800 recall.
Just second pair.
I don't think On's contemplating a call. I think he's contemplating a raise.
I think the opposite. I think he's
14
contemplating a
already and
call.
7 rebounds.
I mean, he cut out chips like he was going to raise, but I don't think that was real. I think that was just a little bluff. Because the little interaction that he had, he started chatting with Matt. I would be very surprised if he decides to pile chips in.
Well, I guess for you, you got to twist your neck.
I mean, I would definitely not encourage it from a
Seat 7.
He's going to call, and Matt's going to show him the bad news, and I was going to say, I had second pair.
Queens and nines,
Top kicker.
right? What the fuck? Always queens and nines.
Matt getting, I feel like pretty much max value because I think any more on might have folded.
All right. Thanks very much, everyone.
Yeah.
Good luck for
So I think that was a
absolutely a
very
good
well
size.
sized bet on the river there. So hats off to Matt. All right, we got a bomb pot. Let's go.
You run as bad as Eric?
Yeah, dealer
You
change.
run as bad as Eric?
Time for another $25 double border.
Eric's
That's what time is it? Even? Quarter past the hour. So we got just about 45 minutes left in the broadcast.
Can we gamble? Is it that
I
time?
think we can. I think we better.
All right, let's go.
slices though.
And you won again. So do you want to go first?
I did it for a day. It was like, it was incredible.
That's a good
What a
feeling.
feeling.
Bluffing? No,
I love hearing you say you won again. That means I won twice in a row.
Yeah, I know. It's not
amazing.
great. It's not great.
I rolled a 64. That's strong. You have 36% equity.
Getting there. We're getting there every time. 78 one time. 94.
Oh,
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, give me that money. Yeah, you thought.
Bummer. I definitely thought I was winning that one.
Getting all cocky with your 64% equity.
64 sounded very good.
I mean, it was until it wasn't. All right, Cray J in the box.
Oh, I love me some Cray J.
It's like self-checkout.
This is not Cray J. This is just regular old KJ, though.
Oh, fine.
Cray J
How
is
do
a
you
different
know?
well, unless he's been drinking at work. That is the definition of Cray J.
Well,
Good. We have regular old KJ, who is also fantastic.
Ragnar, not a single listen, Linda, has been uttered so far. Yeah, I gave you the Linda earlier, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
the
you
listen
did.
Linda.
You did. Yeah. Well, it's not over yet. We got like 45 minutes left.
Yeah, the time is ripe for a listen, Linda.
5 folds, 6 folds, 7 calls, 8 folds.
All right, top two on the top board for Matt.
A 9 for Evan. Sorry, Evan. That's
You got 3 players.
We, for some reason, don't have like any of the hands scanned in, but we are off to a turn with at least 2 players that are not Matt or Slicer involved in this hand.
Okay.
Okay.
we had some headset difficulties.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like maybe we got some burn cards read on the flop
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay.
because those flops are wrong.
So Eric made it 200. And
I
then
see
he folded
3,
around
8
on
something.
call.
I don't know. You all right?
How much?
No. On call and John called. Okay. You made it 800. And then
Well,
on the turn,
things are happening,
John checked.
and well, we've got a hand for on scanned in that looks pretty good.
The card on the top board is 4 of
Eric has piled a bunch of chips across the line. Doesn't matter with
4 of hearts and then 5 of
set of 8s. It doesn't show that on the screen, but he does
checked,
indeed have it.
I mean, Eric bet 800 on call and John folded.
Yeah, I'm trying to just get the screen up here so I can read the flops for real.
All right, there we've got the full run out. Spades miss on top and bottom.
Yeah.
So we've got a set of 8s on bottom for Eric, top 2 on queens and jacks, now king. I don't even know who's turned their cards over and who has what at this point. I do apologize, but people are winning People are losing.
Doesn't matter is in there, and on is in there. Those two hands are correct. The boards have been corrected as well. So
Okay.
this is all fixed. We got it fixed. Look, no big deal.
Sweet. All right. Aces wins on top. Why not?
Aces and fours, and a set of eights.
Dreamy.
Okay.
So dreamy.
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
did you do that?
No problem.
Oh, who got it?
It doesn't matter. Well played.
Gary C's really pushing this mod thing, and I told him not.
The 20 and 20.
He already also told me that he would ban everybody who's not a Celtics fan, and I don't think that's a great idea, so I'm going to stick with my decision not to make you a moderator.
Tyler is lurking in the background and smashed those.
Thank you, Tyler.
Goals. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
All right. So, yeah, moving right along. We got the 25 on here.
Oh, yeah, we have a like goal. It's 150. We're pretty close. We're at 121, so let's get there.
We can do it.
Also, just as a reminder, for those of you who weren't here at the beginning of the stream, we just want to give you a heads up about the tournament in Houston. It is going to start on, let's see.
I think it's Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the day one flights.
Yep, the 16th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 2 flights per day. 11:10 a.m. and 6:10 p.m. So 11 and 6. And then day 2 will be the 19th on Sunday. $250,000 guaranteed. It is a mystery bounty tournament. So
Yeah, there's a 20K bounty in there lurking.
it also $50K guaranteed for first place,
Pretty
which is pretty good because a lot of these big bounty tournaments, the prize pool kind of gets
gobbled up. Right?
yeah, it gets shifted to the bounties, and it takes away a lot of people's incentive to like you just are playing for the bounties as opposed to playing for the prize pool. But 50K locked up top is very good. All right, what are we doing here? We got on, never folding. He's got an ace in his hand, so let's go.
Yeah, he's been running into some spots, though. Yeah, I think
Oh,
yeah,
he
it's time to let
lets
that
it
one
go.
go. Paper cut for Andrew on the
Hated
way
it.
out. But, Slicer going to take that one down with the J-Win. Ace-Queen off went into the muck from J-Win there.
That, see, yeah, I saw that. A little surprised by that, but you know, ace queen off is dominated a lot of the time, I guess. Maybe not a lot.
I mean, Ace-Queen off is just kind of a weird in-between hand. Like Ace-Jack off, like you can just snap fold it and you just don't really care.
Right,
Like
absolutely.
it's almost like a full frequency fold when it, you open, get one on, and then you get 3-bet out of the blind like that. Whereas Ace-Queen, you're almost like, I'd rather 5-bet or 4-bet this, right? Like I would rather
Yeah,
play
ace
it that
queen.
way.
I'm trying to see this from the folder's perspective,
Yeah,
and not
which is
from
the other side.
yeah. Which is that, sure, your hand is relatively strong, but also a lot of the time you are just fucking crushed. But I mean, if they've got, it just feels. Once you see a flop, it's so questionable as to where you're at. You know.
Yeah, I mean, crushed is a little bit of an
Yeah, okay.
overstatement, I would say, but yeah, it can be. It can
It's
be
hard to
challenging.
navigate post flop with ace queen, whereas with
The nice thing about calling there, though, is that you still have a strong hand, and you bring on in, and like, you know, that can be a profitable spot, even though you are going to play man in the middle. If you make a pair, you know, like things can go well for you. But yeah, always tough, and the fold is reasonable. Anyways, we're heads up between Slicer and Andrew. On the turn here, Slicer opting to check the flop, start betting on the turn. Andrew here not going anywhere just yet with his pair, and heads up to a river. 3-ball brings in the wheel.
wheel and hearts get there. Yeah, Slicer has the wheel. Andrew is blocking the nut straight.
Yeah, neither player with a heart, though. I think this is just going to be, block bet Slicer could go for a larger value bet, I would say. The block is fine. And in fact, maybe the block with the straights and the weak flushes makes more sense than the block with the nut flush.
Andrew calls here, which is interesting, but I guess he's thinking check the flop, so.
I gotta show a value hand.
It's that extra 150.
Where is Jedi Master Ted?
Probably enjoying the sun.
I like you. You're not the
Getting away from it. Thank God for air conditioning.
Yeah, the AC in my truck has been working, but
That's-
like
Oh,
struggling.
not great. Yeah.
I mean, I recharged it at the beginning of the summer, so I may have a leak somewhere. I may have to go and.
I mean, at the beginning
check
of the
it again.
summer, which technically it's not even summer yet, so like,
Oh, good lord! Don't
yeah,
remind me.
yeah, we should probably get on that.
Well, so I just may not have put enough cans in it to fully recharge it anyways, especially now that it's this hot and like the compressor is basically running nonstop. So yeah, I just need to check the compressor.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that my AC at my house is also brand new. It's like a charm.
At my house.
Yeah,
Andrew has the nuts. Matt has him pipped,
producer
and
David.
Jaywin is letting go of the ace 10. So heads up between the nuts and Matt.
That's important.
Yeah,
You have
ten's
to
no.
convince yourself. Because then they believe you. That's right. You can
I don't know. You seem to believe that nine's lost a hand tonight, so.
They did.
Oh, good lord. Well, they're in for another loss, and once again, a 1-9 left in the deck.
Yeah, don't. I mean, we don't know that yet.
Checky, checky, deuce of diamonds, not a 9 on the turn. Checky,
Yeah.
checky. What?
Nobody wants to bet it.
Yeah, I mean, both of these hands just really want to get to showdown
Yeah.
and beat the pair that's right below them. Andrew here is like, please just have 7. And, nope, not quite.
Finally lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 9s is no longer the nuts. They have been vanquished.
At least once,
At
if not
least
twice.
once. Perhaps more.
Apparently we upgraded to queens now. Queen is the new thing.
But yeah, it's hot in Texas right now. My mom texted me yesterday, I think, and was like, I heard it, because my mom lives in New Hampshire. She's like, I keep seeing on the news how hot it is there. Is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I have air conditioning. We're fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, I wouldn't recommend sitting out in the sun for
Yeah.
hours on end, but like, yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
Ragnar,
We don't go
I have-
outside in the middle of the day,
Yeah.
but otherwise, it's all good.
Ragnar, I do have AC in my truck. It just may not be up to par with what it needs
If
to be
you
doing.
saw
when it's
Aaron's
107
truck,
degrees.
You would be surprised that he has AC in it.
Okay, it worked out.
Hey, listen, that truck
Raise it. Okay,
is
we'll
a
do it.
champ. And it's all about to run over 200,000 miles. It's like the odometer is like doing the little thing where like all the numbers are starting to roll up. Yeah, it's exciting.
For the software.
So no sleeper strategy in the
97.
future. Can't do
All
it.
right, cool.
Zach's got
So it
two.
was
Not on stream.
sleep. So it was
I got away with one of them
That's a
today.
good hand to start with.
that's fine. So I'll tell you what
Wait,
happened.
second.
So on folded, Zach raised to
Yeah,
75,
Slicer going for a third bet here.
and then it went Matt fold, Slicer raised
And this
to
is low jack versus cutoff, so this is
fold,
a dynamic where you can see some late position things happening between these players' ranges. Ace Queen certainly good enough to 3-bet. When Zach comes in for the 4th bet, though, we are going to find out how Slicer wants to play this one in position. I think, yeah, the call is pretty
Yep.
standard.
Yep, I agree with that.
These players very deep, 1.5K in the middle, stack to pot ratio somewhere around
And that
6.
9-0. I mean, pocket 9s is nuts. Just kidding.
Yeah, ace high board here though, pocket kings.
Kings
ace
is
to
the
see it.
quads of the day, though.
Not coming.
I know, but that has to be part of your thought process, you know? You're like, man, there's an extra $1,300 that I could win if I hit
Sure.
quads. So, like, I don't
420
think
here from Zach.
standard.
Slicer calls in position.
Oh.
King ball, one outer on the turn. Makes it less likely that Zach has ace king or pocket kings now. Slicer shouldn't be scared off by this. However, the bet of 420 is about to go up here. It's like half pot incoming.
1250. Okay, that seems like pretty spot on half pot. 1275.
Yeah, no chance Slicer's folding to this sizing. Starting to get a little bit curious though.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Slicer, I'm not folding. I'm not folding, that's the bottom line, but I am probably check calling.
Well, he's in position, so no checking.
I mean, whatever, just calling. I'm calling, not raising.
5K in the middle, Zach sitting on 7,000. I don't think he should go for an overbet jam here. I think this is a spot to go for like a 3/4 pot size bet, maybe 2/3.
Oh no, it's just like call.
Could go just half pot as well. Doesn't want to give any ace, queen, ace, jack an incentive to fold. And yeah, here we go. Looks like a 3/4 size.
What's that?
It's 420 times 10. So a little bit larger even. Problem for Slicer is that he can chop a lot. And the hands that beat him are sort of blocked by his hand and the board. It looks like he's just doing math at this point. Just what are the number of combos that will do this for value? What are the number of combos that I chop with? And what are the hand combos that would ever be bluffing here? Jack 10, Queen 10, Queen Jack. Did those ever fit into a 4-bet range? Not very often. Most of your 4-bet range is going to contain an ace. Does he ever bluff a worse ace? Try to get you to fold something like ace, queen, ace, jack, or maybe an ace-5 suited. There's really only 2 combos of that. Pretty tough. Pretty tough. Yeah, these are the tough spots in poker where you feel like you're toast, and you know that your opponent is capable. You know that they can give you the business in some spots. But Slicer is going to let it go. He's going to fold the top pair, an effective top kicker. Zach turning the one outer set is going to take that one down, but no additional chips going in the middle. Try to whack that thing. Give me a second. All right. Good fold there by Slicer. I mean, certainly from a results-oriented standpoint. The obvious sort of question there is, like, what else does he have in his range? What is he calling with when his opponent triples off? And you could say pocket 9.
Cool, never mind. Okay.
No, I think you and On had the
Ace king.
mismatch.
So those hands, of course, are not folding.
I did.
Not going to have many other hands that are in
Yeah.
that hand class. So call ace king, call pocket 9, and fold ace queen. Seems reasonable.
Well, I mean, you should be. It's a live stream.
It's a live stream. We want people to.
Fold ace queen, fold ace jack. If he ever has ace jack there. 4-bet pot, ace jack suited, maybe.
We do need a moderator.
But all said and done, Zach shipping a nice pot there.
We'll get this ship running.
This show on the road.
No straddle one?
I get confused. I don't know what to do.
Hell no.
All right, doesn't matter here. Going to go ahead and raise the button. Queen 9 off to $30. We did not have a straddle this time.
Would you like updates on Lottie's WSOP?
Yeah, let us know. How's he doing?
He lost today.
He lost?
Yeah, half an hour ago.
Sure.
He bubbled in the shootout. So essentially, single table, everyone who they play down to a winner at each table, and then those players come back. And he
That's what happened.
lost heads up. So standard Lottie fashion. He won the minimum, which was nothing. Usually.
What Mike said is
But, you know, gotta win flips.
Yeah.
Lottie can't win his flips sometimes. And that's,
Yeah, we all struggle with that. That's for sure. Sometimes even domination station. With those crushes.
yeah, I can think of a particular instance where that has happened recently. To me.
Can you?
Yeah.
Doesn't have anything to do with me.
No, never.
Oh man. I was gonna say something. And then, oh, my buddy won his table.
Oh, nice. Who's that?
He goes by the name of Mike Phillips. From Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
There, where I was going to school. And yeah, everyone's playing
when you went ahead and
the old online poker for quite some time.
Colombia.
Great guy. And,
There's a lot of people spending some major time down in Colombia. I feel like.
Colombia's good. Costa Rica, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of the South American and South and
Oh, 8 on the turn.
I'm done.
wow, nines are getting smoked these days. Jay.
Yeah. So much for nines being the nuts. That was an earlier the day thing.
Yeah, and so Zach just turned a 1-outer and now he just turned a 2-outer. Let's see if Jaywin can return, river, whatever, the 1-outer. My words are totally working.
All right. Who can we make mod to do this?
I got this.
You got it? All right. Then you do it.
King of diamonds on the river, no help to Jaywin.
Yeah. I mean, what does Jaywin beat?
He beats turn flush draws, like combo draws, that's bricked off. He does have the nine
So
of
long
hearts,
as
which-
those combo draws or flush draws don't include,
Got a bunch of
but
Gen Zers here.
they, well, not combo draw obviously doesn't include a flush draw.
Yeah, the 9 of hearts is actually a really bad card for Jaywin to have. Really,
Yeah,
really bad.
because
card
that
for
blocks
Jaywin.
all the combo draws. So now he's hoping to beat just a naked flush draw that breaks.
Yeah.
And he's going to let it go. And I think that is quite wise.
Zach turns over the 8 of diamonds. Like, yeah, I had it. Good for
Yeah.
him. They don't always just show the random dog shit, you know, and be like, oh yeah, he could have showed the 9 right
Go,
there.
boys.
He did.
Yeah, and Jaywin would have been like, that's where all the
Like
nines
what I
are.
see. Like what I see, boys.
Like I had 2 of those, and you obviously had an 8 to go with your 9. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. He would have showed the 9 of clubs and the 8 of
Oh,
clubs was
Celtics
not out
making a
there.
comeback. Let's go. Let's go green and white.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, Gary C just gave me an update. Only down 3 with 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
Oh.
That is a strong third quarter showing against the Warriors. They typically score a lot of points in the third. So.
Okay, see 3 fold. See 4 fold.
All right. $80 straddle is on.
There's one player at this table that's angle shooting.
Andrew here gonna go ahead and limp it
Interesting.
Careful with the 2C.
from the cutoff. Very interesting. That's not a standard play. However, I have seen Andrew do a fair bit of the limping and sometimes limp back raising. And I've been a little bit curious about what he does that with. This may be a hand class that he does that with.
Never heard him say that.
You've seen it on non-live stream games, I take it.
Yeah, no, like when I played with them. The limps and then sometimes paired with the back raise. So that's very much part of his game.
Matt somehow flopping the best with his queen 4. 9 is going to give John the better hand. However, Slicer has a gutter, so
Mr. Beast here. Get him to Austin.
John is going Raise, it looks like.
Two raised,
Some
575,
miniature. A mini raise.
I'd have to do something around.
And
Wow! Show the nines! Show the nines! Show the nines!
Goes the 9 of hearts.
Nine!
Nightmares about those.
Rocket.
Fuck, bro.
yeah, I'm not sure why, but okay. Tipping a green bird for that
Nines are back.
relatively
Nines are back in
small
play.
pot in this game.
Nines are queens.
Hell yeah.
Gotta love it. Thank you, John, for being the best.
Amazing.
All right. Looks like the 50 is going to be on here.
Yeah, John's running good. He's putting all the straddles on.
It's going to be a live straddle for 25 and double straddle for 50.
There you go.
Eric going to
Well done.
Can't see your
raise.
That's a radioactive. That's a radioactive spider.
Doesn't matter.
That man's gonna.
Spider-Man.
Doesn't matter. No, that's a raise. 125.
See 5 pounds.
Andrew
That's my dude.
calling with the king 5 suited. The Gordon nuts.
Yeah, number 1.
Slicer has 9-8 suited. Also going to come along.
Death by chips.
King, Jack, Deuce. All hearts. Doesn't matter. Sitting on the best hand and now the nuts. Just
Hey, can you count the legs?
Andrew with 2 pair, though, and checking around is going to get a free shot at a boat on the end. Doesn't go.
One check.
Eric, the only one with the heart. Gonna bet it.
600.
Andrew could. Let's bet 600 into 4.
There's another one. 9 legs. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is big and chunky. 2 pair is pretty good here, but at the same time, you can lose to better
Ace.
2
And
pairs.
he's also losing to ace, queen, queen 9. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of.
I'm not sure those bet this size, though, right? Like, this is very much flush or nothing.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think if other 2 pairs would ever turn themselves into a bluff, just because they block the calls. But
Like how they did way back in the day, you know, negative connotations, so forth.
Yeah, see
or
how
they
Andrew
block
just
the like pair plus.
You gotta like that.
No, just check through anyway, so there really wasn't any of that done.
I didn't want to
Yeah,
say it.
just
I didn't want to say it,
But
but
it wasn't bad. Like if it was actually
it was
bad,
really funny. I called. We went. My coworker.
John
You know my
going
coworker.
to muck his
but it was
9
actually
high.
solid. Like if it was bad, then
And Andrew finding out that,
for a superhero movie.
yeah,
We're all going to see Black Panther in the office. It was like, okay.
his hesitation, he had a feeling he was probably wrong, but I think he also.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to know.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, no, I could be right. I could win this hand.
Right, he has a strong enough hand that, like, he definitely could be right. And if he's right, he's
I thought it was funny. Nobody
fully winning. You know, he's not losing to a set or better. Like, I don't think that's ever the case.
Yeah, it's a,
So it's not like he's calling the, like, he's hero calling with a worse hand, you know? There's always, I think, that's the worst.
Yeah.
When you're like, you know what? I don't believe you. I'm going to call you with bottom pair. And they're like, oh, I have 4th pair.
And you're like, bro, just check your showdown, you asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, I was so right.
The worst.
And I
even
was
worse
so wrong.
Even worse than that is in a tournament, and like you call someone who is very clearly bluffing,
Yeah.
or they think they're bluffing, and yeah, they've got like over pair to the second pair. It's like, you know, like king.
Where they have
8,
effective second pair.
yeah, king 8-3, you know, whatever,
And they have
then
jacks.
they just like bet big on the river, and they have 9s, and you call with like 10-8. You're just like, wait, what? Why are you betting your 9s all of a sudden for that size? And you're like, what? I don't know. Sometimes people will do that correctly as a value bet, and other times they're just bluffing and don't don't want you to fold or don't want you to call, and yet they still have the best hand.
Yeah, it's just a really interesting dynamic in those kind of spots where you have, especially like you said, like a king, or whatever, and you have 9. That's like.
Andrew here turns the flush. JL with a redraw to a serious flush, but is now currently behind.
And never gonna think the 8 high flush is good if he gets there. Like, there's no way, there's no universe that exists in this scenario where you're like, you could think 8s are possibly good now.
I think the 8 high flush is perfectly fine to go for. Like, the dynamics are here such that, like, your opponent could be betting a like a jack or something and just trying to charge you for continue king. I mean, it's not. It's certainly not
I think
always
you
the
prefer
case,
a brick there. Like I don't think you should be considered. Like, I don't even think of that as a flush draw personally. Like, that 8. The only thing that 8 is doing is blocking the flush draw for somebody else. Like, that's my thought. I'm like, oh, you have one less heart. I don't know. But I don't like another heart getting there. I'm probably calling a bet on the river because I have a heart if it gets there as like a hero call, but I don't like it. I'm not like, oh yeah, I got there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean,
If I have ace, king, queen of hearts, sure. Okay.
yeah. I don't know. It's important to not pigeonhole ourselves into one way of thinking where, like, okay, the front door flush draw completes on the turn, so therefore they either have, when they bet big, they either have the flush or they have nothing. Like, there can be
I mean,
some
that's not what,
in-between
that's,
hands where
or
if
they
it's
could also have ace of hearts, king of hearts. Like one of those bigger hearts and be, you know, have neither a made hand, you know, be drawing to a better flush.
But those are the value hands versus the bluff hands. And your point was like that the 8 of hearts is like never good or something.
I'm not saying that the 8 of hearts is never good.
He just said it was never good.
I
You
said I
it
never
was
feel
never
good about it. I also said I'm probably calling if somebody bets the river and a 4th heart peels off. But I don't love it.
No, of course. I mean, nobody
That's what I'm
loves
getting at. I'm not getting at that it's not good. I'm saying I don't feel good about it. Those are very different things.
Okay. I wish I could just like play your exact words because you're like it's never good there.
No, but I said it
That's what my brain remembers, but my brain is probably broken. All right, let's move on to the next one. As we've got 5 more hints, this one and a few more. Top pair for Andrew, bottom pair for doesn't matter. Straight draw for Slicer. John has no business, so he'll be folding one pair. And here we go, heads up between Slicer and Andrew. Slicer makes a pair, that's not what he was looking for.
Yeah, who folded 10-8? Somebody did that?
That was doesn't matter.
Ah, yes.
Andrew will continue going for value here. About half pot, a little over.
Where are we at on the like counter, guys? Where are we at?
Keep
Did we
it.
get there?
I don't know, my like counter is always frozen on mine. It is time to gamble
Oh,
again,
mine's
though,
frozen.
so whenever this hand completes, let's go ahead and do one last wager.
Forever.
Checking a call on the turn, ace of clubs now on the end. Slicer going to finish with a pair of 10s, and we go check, and Slicer knows that he loses. And we'll quickly push his card to the bottom. All right, I won the last one, so here we go.
I said, what would Mac do?
It's gonna be a live 25.
What would Mac do?
134, guys. 16 more. Let's go.
That's what before I bluffed that.
Pay no attention to what I rolled. We should. You know what? Let's just not. gamble.
Yeah. I mean, I could still lose this.
Yeah,
I felt really good about
90.
64 before.
96%.
Yeah. Last time I mentioned the amount of equity didn't work out for me, so we're gonna just
If you lose to
we're gonna
this
be
one-
really humble about this and say I could roll a 1 or a 2 or a 3. Those are 3 different possibilities where I still lose.
Let's hope for that.
97. Let's go.
Burgled me. Oh my god. Overkill. All right, Zach here going to raise this up after on limps below jack.
3 players.
On will make the call and heads up to an ace-high flop.
Check.
Oh no, Slicer found his way in here as well, and big flop here for Slicer. Middle pair and the nut flush draw.
Check. 3 players.
Checks it though. Free turn, 9 of clubs. 9's always coming. Unless you have pocket 9, at which point, you know, they're broken. They got used up. On here now, top pair. Gonna go ahead and probe this for 250. Zach picks up an up and down straight draw with a redraw to the nuts. He's gonna fumble some chips around and make the call. Slicer now, likely to just call as well. Yeah, when he doesn't fire the flop, this is the line to take. 4 of spades on the end. Massive flop for Slicer doesn't pan out. He will finish with the second best hand. Let's see if on, yeah, he's just gonna check here. Doesn't get a lot of value from betting. Checks all the way through. Ace-5 good. On will win this $800 profit. And let's take a quick peek at our net earnings here. The V-Pips next. And, there we go, John. Up at the top by quite a good margin. Slicer, the biggest loser on the night. Doesn't matter, coming on in not too long ago, and getting whacked immediately as well. Looking at the V-Pips, we've got on, way up at the top, 37%, JL and Zach. Andrew, J-Win all hanging out in the low 30s. Slicer, the lowest V-Pip, and still well over 20%. So a lot of action here tonight.
They've done it.
PFR, we've got JL and J-Win being the most aggressive pre-flop. John here only raising about 8% of the time on 10% of the time, so those 2 players finding their way into most hands in a more passive manner.
It's going to be a live 20. See 6 folds.
All right. Is that all of the stats we need to see?
Those are the ones I wanted to click on before we got this hand fired up.
8 folds. 9
We do have a couple more hands here for you before we shut down the stream for the evening, so
2 raised to
more opportunities.
3 calls.
Stats, graphs, and such. Doesn't Matt gonna go ahead and call the open? Deuces. John here on the button, raising the Jack-7 off. That's a little bit spicy, but when it folds to you on the button, even with all those straddles, you know, you can give it a shot. Play in position. And
It's almost not even just even with all those straddles. It's like, oh, well, look at all those straddles out there. Shit, let's go. Not that that's really right, but
yeah, it kind of goes the opposite, where most of the time, like if it's just a small and a big blind, you can open the button really wide. Like Jack-7 off is certainly in there. But then you start adding additional straddles and you start to tighten up just because there's way more players to go through, and they've already committed even more to the pot. So, yeah. Anyways.
I'm going to get to see the end of this game. I'm really excited.
That is exciting.
It's the Celtics are down by 1.
Going into the 4th quarter?
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Somehow, John is out of there, but he had the best hand, so.
Yeah, on is just sort of blasting away with the queen high. Takes you down.
Yeah.
That is a big pile of chips in front of on. Look at all those greens.
Yeah, maybe a color up floor.
Give
Give that man some pink chips. Let's go.
Like
You like it? You like the mountain?
I mean, he has to like really like reach around.
I know.
Bear hugging chips.
Yeah, he's not like a particularly large man. He's on the shorter side, so that's like as far as he can reach, basically. That's it. That's the end of his reach.
Well, he just needs to accumulate a few more rows, and then You know, he's like, I can't play anymore. Can't reach the cards. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
sorry.
Oh.
7 call.
On.
8 fold.
Continuing the limping
9 call.
under the gun. Ace-6 offsuit. Slicer sticking around with the 5-3 suited, so somebody else went with it earlier.
Yeah, Andrew.
Man,
Hard to bluff.
I could win with this. Seen it happen.
Yeah, on starting a trickle
Yeah.
of limps.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that 8-4 offsuit is gonna be the winning hand this time.
I'll take king 3 diamonds.
There it is. Best I can do. Best you can do. 4 check, 5 check, 6 check, 7 check.
Matt does have the best hand at the moment with the pair of 3s, king kicker.
1 fold, 2 fold.
Matt does bet, and
He's gonna.
6 fold, and
What's that
7
one?
call. Heads up.
oh wait, on is in the mix, and he's got 2 live.
Oh, 8. It doesn't matter if he's still in there. 8-4 is the best hand.
Wait, it's not over yet.
Check.
I don't care. 8-4 is definitely going to be the best hand at Showdown.
Wrong!
Oh,
Wrong!
man.
That's
What
definitely
a bummer. God, I was so right.
Oh, for a moment.
I know.
For a moment.
How's it going, Kristen?
420.
That was like my favorite hand of all time. Like this,
That
right
was
there,
pretty
just that
great,
little
yeah.
back and forth. Matt gonna bet the 420 as you do, and on with just ace high.
Gonna think about it, though. He's thinking long and hard.
Oh,
Alright, ace high no good.
420 get it through.
Matt bet, what, 420 into
Button try.
250?
Yeah, it was like 300 or something.
Yeah.
Definitely an overbet, but not.
We have this hand that's coming up right now, and then one more.
We got 2 more
And
hands.
then we're going to call it a night. I'm going to end this stream.
4 hands left in the stream, boys.
Up $20? Yeah!
20, double stop for 40.
Don't need to grow a dick on the last 2 hands.
Thank you.
You don't know me very well.
What can I buy with $20?
This is why I say it, because there's always one. Like, still has 2 hands.
No, the meal I just ordered earlier cost more than
One time for the ball.
that's what happens with like DoorDash. Is like I don't even look at how much it costs, and then I just hit buy. Then it comes to me, and I'm like, oh my god, how did I spend $38 on dinner?
Raises to 125.
Yeah. I think there's still several places that I like to go to around town that are affordable, good. But yeah, it just feels like everything is.
Next time we'll do 10%.
Well, I mean,
Especially if you want like a good meal.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and I don't have any problem with paying for a good meal, but it's just the fact that like I don't even realize. You know, like, wait,
He called.
$20?
He did his best. He
That
tried.
didn't
He
seem
checked
worth
as
it.
best he could. See, they call.
All right, Slicer opening with 7 is going to get called by on and does that. So here we go. 3 ways to a flop.
I know, this is the last game.
Ace, Jack, 5. No connection for any of these players. Doesn't matter. Does have a gutty to Broadway and a backdoor diamond flush draw. But it's going to check it back after the 2 players in front check.
Check.
No improvement. Yeah, time to start betting if here doesn't matter.
Bet 275.
Oh, you got a seat again?
Wow, that's a big jump, Ragnar. $5 for that combo?
Yeah, 8 to 13. Damn.
Call. Heads up.
All right, Slicer making the call here. A non-believer with effective 3rd pair and a harmless 6 of clubs here on the end. I mean, if he thought that doesn't matter, could be up to no good here, he may just call another river bet.
I mean, I have to imagine that he would.
Hard blocks the nuts, which nobody has 7-4 at this point, pretty much ever. And yeah,
He's
doesn't
gonna get the
matter.
check back, so
One pair, 7.
Interesting though.
Well, is it going to be 5?
I'm
They had a good chance.
he just had a soul lead, I guess.
The problem is the flop check back.
Yeah, I
so
guess.
when
Last call back, I hope.
when it checks him in position, he has like he could check back a jack, right? And then start betting it on the turn. But that size was kind of like, ooh, you know, you really betting it back for 3/4 pot. I mean,
I'm getting dealt the
those are the
first
things
card.
that competing probably.
Right. Yeah. And so if you are betting that turn, you probably are hoping for folding.
All right, all of the straddles are on. We got the 250 on.
Let's
Put Zach's
go.
20 out.
Eric, you're going to be first to act, and he's got something to the tune of like 15 big blinds.
Wow.
Not even. You know he's got 10 big blinds. I apologize.
Yeah.
Math
I'm
is hard.
pocket sixes. Do something with a pair. Like, what else do you do? Rip it. Yeah, there we go. Let's go. See if anybody has a hand that can call him.
Certainly none of the ones that are scanned in.
I mean, Jaywin had 2 overs. It was theoretically a flip, but king, queen of diamonds. There you go. And JL not in the gambling mood on folding 7 deuce. Queen 9. No. King, queen of diamonds was probably the only call that, or only hand that could really call. And he had all these people in the straddles left to act behind.
Yeah.
So it's
Unless
either
John
rejam. John hadn't looked yet.
I was going to say, unless John calls this blind.
Give me show your card. Give me show your card.
I know the move is talking about
There's a couple sixes here for doesn't matter, and he's going to shift the last hand. Lost last.
Yep.
Hold up.
Oh, they're going to run it out?
Eric will let you call.
Slice.
Little rabbit hunting just for pair 5.
5 no
still
good.
in front.
Yeah, 6s hold.
All right, that's going to do it here for us on Monday, 5:10. Thank you guys so much. See you next time. And if you would like to tune in on Wednesday and Thursday.
I had it. All right, that's it, guys. As soon as I
And go to Houston for the tourney.
That's right, next weekend. Big
Get in there.
on the live stream, please.
Guaranteed tournament. Mystery Bounty
I mean,
down.
that's what I'm saying.
All right, that's going to do it for us, myself, for Carolyn, for Padawan producer, Kristen, and all of the other staff here at TCH Live.
You guys are done then? We're not going to.
Night.
I'm still